Introducing Passport Bros, your ultimate travel companion. Download the app for free and embark on a journey where your adventures not only become unforgettable memories, but also opportunities to earn. With Passport Bros, your travel content is more than just photos and videos. It's your ticket to a fully monetizable network of like-minded adventurers. Imagine making money from your travel stories. Post videos, share your experiences, and let the world be a part of your journey. But that's not all. Connect with travelers from around the globe, join co-ed groups, and make lasting friendships, perhaps even with foreign women who share your passion for exploration. And here's the best part. Store your earnings securely in your Passport Bros wallet. No hassle, no worries. Just seamless transactions wherever your travels take you. Looking for the best local experiences? Passport Bros has got you covered. Get personalized recommendations for tour guides, rentals, and the hottest clubs in town. Did we mention the app is absolutely free to download? That's right. Your passport to a world of adventure is just a click away. And here's the cherry on top. With Passport Bros, you can make money while exploring new places. Turn your passion for travel into a source of income, right from your mobile device. So, what are you waiting for? Download Passport Bros now, share your journey, connect with fellow explorers, and let the adventure begin.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.
All right, we live, family. Welcome to another show. The man BMT in the building, and we got a hell of a show for you guys today, man. We're gonna be talking a little lightly about some politics going on. We just had the elections last week. I waited purposely a few days after the elections, man, so we can kind of see, from the storm clearing and everything, the smoke clears. We clearly have a defined winner, and Donald Trump pretty much won by a landslide for the most part. So we're going to be discussing some real topics today, not in concerns or whether you're a Trump supporter or whether you're a Kamala supporter. We don't dive deeply into that. What most Passport Bros are concerned with are, taxes and the strength of the American dollar. That's what we're going to talk about this in this show with Trump America. All right. We got some news because we're going to go over as well. We got a lot of stuff going on in the news in concerns of travels and everything. So we're going to go over that as well in this show. I want to welcome everybody, all right, to the show, all right? We live, baby. What's going on, Garfield? So now this one I've seen, I've been asking the questions ever since we won. Yeah, said Trump balls. I know, BMT, bro. I know a lot of people, for the most part, I think a lot of men are pretty much somewhat swayed towards Trump, whether he's, who he is. Like I say, I'm not into really deep into politics. My whole thought process of politics is different than most. I believe in buying the politician, not voting for the politician. That's just my thought. That's my opinion. Okay, rock the vote. I voted as well, but just my general opinion. Most groups have specific things that they want a politician and the president, whether you like it or not, is somewhat of a politician, want things done on their behalf. So they generally will put money up or even connections up to get what they want out of the American political system. So in federal elections, I think it's much different than a local election, in my personal opinion. But we're not going to dive deep into that because we'll be arguing all day about voting and why you should vote. We're not going to go into all that detail. We're just talking about what's next for the Passport Bros under this new administration. Now, it is important. I want to put that out there. That it is important, who's in office in concerns of Americans traveling the world. Okay, and that is important because things can change drastically overnight for Americans, even on how foreigners might even view Americans in these countries now that Trump is president. So we're going to go over this. I actually wrote an article. It's coming out tomorrow. So if you guys are sub to the newsletter, all right, or on the app, you will get a blog tomorrow about Trump America and the passport bros. But we're going to discuss that as well here in this show. Okay. Somebody said white women and other cultures aren't going against their men except black women. Okay, y'all in the chat already getting deep. Y'all get deep already. But we're gonna get to that. First, let me get to a couple of little news stories while we let everybody come on in the room. This is a live show, so we're gonna be at it for a little minute. Have you guys, what up, Jay Clyde? Have you guys heard this story right here? This was sent to my man Jay Clyde sent me this. This is some real passport history right here. All right. Missing father faked his death, left U.S. to live with a woman he met online. Now, this is a hilarious story. Kind of a lighthearted story because he did a little too much. Okay. This is my man right here. All right. Said a Wisconsin father disappeared during a fishing trip and was presumed dead, is now believed to be alive and living in another country he met with a woman he met online. So basically, the guy went on a fishing trip, faked his death, got some insurance money, all right, and moved overseas to be with this woman that he met online. Now, the dude did this so sloppy. He did this. He left America to go to Europe. I think it was Uzbekistan, all right. He took out a $375,000 life insurance policy, all right. He transferred the money to his foreign bank account. I still don't understand how he did that, but he transferred the money to his foreign bank account. So he cashed out on his own life insurance policy. How he did that, I don't know. Okay. He ordered a new passport. Like he did all this like in a few days, basically, before he faked his death. Ordered a new passport. All right. Cashed out his life insurance policy. All right. They said they were looking for him for like 2 months, basically. All right. And they pretty much caught his passport. So why would you fake your death and use your own original passport? Because they saw him scan his passport in Canada one day after he went missing. So maybe he wasn't really trying to cover up his steps too tough. Maybe he just wanted the money. Maybe he figured that, hey, it is what it is. They might find out, they might not. Either way it go, I'm gonna be halfway across the world with money in my foreign bank account that they can't touch. So that might be what his thoughts are. All right. So this is a hilarious story. They haven't even really said what they're going to do. If they're going to prosecute him for faking his death. I don't know exactly what the state laws of Wisconsin are, but I thought that was a hilarious story. That's some real passport bro shit right there, all right? He just said, the hell with it. I'm done with the family, done with the wife. I'm going to fake my death on a fishing trip. They looked for him for 2 months. They combed the whole little lake looking for the guy, and he was all in Uzbekistan with his foreign woman, basically. He said, you did that for Uzbek chick. Hey, man, people getting tired of saying, what up, Grego? What's good? Willow Thrill with the first super chat of the day, man. I really appreciate that super chat. My brother, $10 super chat. He says, what's good, brother? Long time. Hope all is well. Hello, BMT brothers. Blessings. Shout out to you. Blessings to you as well. Yeah, I want everything to kind of calm down after the election, man. When it gets too political, it's just like, okay, passport bros, we pretty much have we have a vested interest on our American dollar staying strong. 100%. Okay, no matter what people tell you, like I say, we don't got to be too deep into the politic game, but we all know that living abroad is much easier because of the strength of our American dollar. Even in cases where they try to get over, I tell my girl all the time, she gets mad over little things like, they charging you this amount much extra. You got to let me do things because they're not going to charge me. They're going to charge you the gringo price. I'm like, I get it, but their gringo price is still 75% cheaper than the American price would be. For example, if I go get my laptop fixed in America, $1,000. MacBook Pro, $1,000 easy. If I get it fixed out here in some electronic flea market shop in the Dominican Republic, $150. So what if they charge me $50 extra? That's why I'm trying to get her to understand. Like, come on, man. All right. I got a few trolls in here. If we got 100 in the room, guys, do me a favor, make sure you hit that like button. And I got another story before we get to the main story right here. I want to show you guys this, man. This was sent to me. And we got to always talk about Colombia. Shout out to Colombia. Love Colombia. All right. But this video right here was so hilarious to me, man. I don't know where these guys are from, but here we go.
Yeah.
Now you see this man is walking around with a Versace shirt on, with a gold chain on. He is in Cartagena. Okay. Let's see what happens. What do you chat before I play the video? What do you think could happen, possibly happen to a brother wearing a Versace shirt on and a gold chain in Cartagena? Okay. I'm just curious before I play the video. What do y'all think could have possibly happened? Maybe he just rode off in the sunset, no issues at all, pulled all the local women with his gold chain, his Versace shirt, no issues whatsoever in South America. Maybe that happened. All right. Or maybe, let's find out.
There you go again, man. Fuck on me, bitch. Come on, man. Hey, he gonna bring that shit back around here. Come on. Come on. Hey, let's start moving this way. Start moving this way, though. Come on. Nah, he ain't take it. No, good. Good. Matter of fact, fuck that. And we can go.
All right, so he got lucky. People, and that's what they do in Colombia when they see something happen. They all come out, they activated, they get you, they rob you with a Patron. You got to be careful and all that good stuff. But these guys are really lucky. That was just a random on-site situation. More than likely, if they didn't get the hell on, they probably would have got robbed further down the street. All right. But let me just play this video one more time. I don't know why guys be insisting on doing dumb shit like this. And then they be on Razor Ray's crying. Shout out my man Razor Ray.
The club like that. Look, hey.
Oh, look at my man. He dressed. He ready too. Look at him.
Look, there you go again, man. Fuck on me, bitch. Come on, man. Hey, he gonna bring that shit back around here. Come on. Come on. Hey, let's start moving this way. Start moving this way, though. Come on. Nah, he ain't take it. No, good. Good. Matter of fact, fuck that. And
yeah, so that's you putting yourself a big target on your back, man. Anywhere in Latin America, I do be seeing guys with gold chains on the DR. I think the DR is probably one of the most safer places to rock that gold chain. Then again, you don't really know if these guys is gangsters or rappers, or you really don't know what's going on. Me personally, I advise against it. If you want to rock like that, rock out like that, then maybe you can do it possibly in the DR. That might work. They might still get you. They might not. I think it's safer. But anywhere in South America, don't do it, folks. Just don't do it. All right. Just take it from me. Don't put yourself out there. All right. Happy Veterans Day. Also, I talked to my stepdad earlier today, man. Happy Veterans Day to all my veterans out there. Always reminds me I should have joined the goddamn military. Shout out to my stepdad, though. And I'll play this other little clip. Now, you guys know what's been going on in Haiti. For the life of me, I don't understand why brothers be still trying to get me to go to Haiti out here. They be like, yeah, man, come on to Haiti, bro. It's not what they're talking about. And I always kind of pass on that. It's like, nah, this part of Haiti is safe. And I'm like, bro, I don't, for me personally, I understand what they're going through. We hear about Haiti on the news every day out here in the DR. Okay, they got a lot going on, the capital in particular. But now, and I didn't even know this was even possible. I mean, I guess it's possible, but they are shooting at planes in Haiti right now. And they're hitting it. I don't know what type of bullets and guns they're using, but check this out right here. This was posted in the Passport Bros app. Hold on.
Goes from here.
I mean, they going through the plane. Those some big ass bullets right there, bro. I mean, what's that? Like what type of caliber is that? Family, look at that. Look how big that bullet is. That shit damn sure ain't no 9. Look at it. So apparently this flight had left Fort Lauderdale and it was going to land in Port-au-Prince. They was landing in Port-au-Prince, and while they was landing, the airplane was being shot at. The Spirit plane at that was being shot at. Now, you know damn Spirit ain't going to be no bulletproof airplanes nowhere. I still would have thought that an airplane would be a little bit more, just the airplane metal or something would be a little bit more strong than just to take a bullet and a bullet fly right through it. Yeah, Spirit Airlines for sure. 7.662 AK round, most likely. 308. Okay, Ronan. Okay, my boy Ronan know. My brother Ronan know exactly where they shooting out there. Okay. Damn, an AK can hit a plane though. I wonder how far. I mean, they said it was landing, so maybe it was low, but that's just crazy to me. I never imagined that you would have to be, ducking bullets on a plane. I just assumed that the plane was stronger. The metal of the plane was stronger, and it was too high up in the air. All right. Said the wings are metal. Okay. So it said Haiti was never on my bucket list, and this solidifies that decision. Listen, I don't know why so many guys are trying to get me to go to Haiti out here. I have no idea why. They be like, hey, man, come to it's a town right near the border. I forgot the name of it. Because one of my guys went and did a YouTube vlog about it. It happens to be his biggest YouTube vlog. All right. He's all on the streets, filming everything. I think he got a tour guide, but I'm not that type of I'm just not that type of YouTuber. You know what I mean? Like, hey, listen, if there's some political strife, they got Kenyan soldiers out there in Haiti right now. They got a mass deportation thing going on in the DR right now. I haven't technically seen it. I mean, they're saying they're doing a mass deportation. They have to do like 10,000 Haitians before the end of the year. I haven't really seen the police being too aggressive, at least in San Domingo. But I mean, there is a large police presence. To me, it's real difficult though when you out here because it's just like the Haitians are so intertwined with Dominican society. So it's just like I don't see how they can just kind of pick and point out like who's who and stuff like that. So it's interesting, man. It's interesting, but I won't be going to Haiti no time soon. I'll put to you like that. Shout out my man Machiavelli in the building. Shout out my man Machiavelli, man. What up, man? $10 super chat. Y'all can't be out there flexing. These Colombians are starving and you rocking their next meal. Yes, and they believe that the chain is real. Okay, they're believing that the chain is real. So you got some, costume jewelry on. They don't know. They think hey, those are some Americans right there. He got on a Versace shirt on. I mean, literally, he lucky. It was just like a pass by guy just trying to take advantage. I think that was like just a brazen moment. He said, "Oh shit, somebody got a gold chain on. Let me see if I can get it." But if they were followed, it could have been way worse than that. They could have took their life behind that chain. We saw that happen, a year ago? Rest in peace to brother. I forgot his name, but he was wearing a real light chain, and they kind of, shot him and killed him for it. Okay. Ronan says 1,000 to 1,500 yards still have effective range. Okay. I don't even know why. Why would Spirit even be flying to Port-au-Prince right now? Spirit just don't give a damn, bro. They don't care. Spirit does not care, fam. All right. And you know what's another crazy thing? Hold on. Let me
Goes from here.
I want to just see exactly where those bullets hit. Because those really could have hit some passengers, man. Hold on, let me see exactly. So that's one by the door. Okay. Damn, right there, by the carry-on luggage area. On the wings, I mean, they're going straight through too, bro. Look at that. Man, hell no. Hell no.
Goes from here.
All right. That's crazy. Shout out, man, T Mac with the $10 super chat. Salute to the brothers in the room, especially all of my military veterans and Marine Corps veterans. Keep living that 100% PT life. Live your best life and be safe, man. Shout out to all my vets, man. Y'all out there in the streets heavy. Y'all out in the international streets heavy, man. I got to really thank all my vets for really just showing me the ropes in these international travels, man. I've met so many veterans in Brazil, in Colombia, and truth be told, the vets usually don't have any issues with being scoped or anything like that. Maybe it's their military training, for the most part. But shout out to all my vets. I see them in Thailand, everything, man. Shout out to you guys for all your service, man. I really appreciate that. A lot of my passport bros are military veterans. All right. Yeah, the flight attendant was injured. All right. She said it was graves. She about to get a check. She about to get a hell of a check. All right. T-Mac says, I developed aircraft systems for 25 years. Only the military products might have the NAG requirements to resist ballistics. Okay. All right, Good Time Virgo says, Kamala and Biden just going to let that happen without any retaliation. You know what, though? On the real, I know Grego's joking, but if Trump was in office and that would have happened, that wouldn't have been a good situation. That's the only thing I can say about Trump. Trump or one of the Bushes being in office, if somebody shooting at an American plane, that would be a real bad situation for the gangs in Haiti. That'd be a bad situation. Yeah, Kamala and Biden gonna let that shit ride. Kamala, they're gonna let it ride. They're more concerned about men's and women's bathrooms than stuff like that. But yeah, that's true. Speaking of that, all right, let's get a little political. This is just a little bit political. We did an article today. It's going to come out tomorrow. Just saying some differences between this new Trump America that we'll have in the next 4 years, okay? Now, the thing about Trump is, and once again, I'm not going for Trump or anything like that. I'm just saying, let me see if you guys can see this on the screen real quick. I'm just saying, usually when he says something, it kind of, he pretty much does it for the most part. He just does an executive order. He gets it done. So tax-free expat life, this is a big one. Now, for the most part, as far as I know, we're tax-free up until I think $136,000 a year. For the most part, expats overseas get a tax exemption. Okay, if you make less than that amount, so you don't pretty much have to pay taxes. This is what leads to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of digital nomads living and moving overseas that they don't have to pay that U.S. tax. In some cases in Thailand, I've been hearing things about them trying to tax the foreigners with their own federal tax out there in Thailand. So in some cases, if you make over a certain amount of money, you will be taxed for your American income and your Thai income. So this will be a big relief under Trump, all right? So this is imagine keeping all earnings without Uncle Sam double dipping. That's big for passport bros working remotely or finding jobs overseas. More cash in their pockets mean more lifestyle upgrades abroad. So that's a good element of Trump's administration if these tax-free goes through. Now, on the flip side, they're planning on tightening the borders and doing mass deportations. They're already talking about it. More likely this is going to happen. Some might say it's fortunate. Some might say it's unfortunate. All right. They're expecting stricter travel and immigration rules. The bros might have a harder time with extended stays or returns to the U.S. after overseas adventures. All right. So basically what they're saying is there's a possibility that, the countries might kind of buck and say, hey, you're exporting our citizens. You sending the whole families back over here. We're going to do this to your Americans. We're going to make them get a visa or we're going to suspend their visas. There might be some form of pushback with Trump, exporting so many people back over the border. There could possibly be some pushback. The only pushback I really see more than likely is them asking for a visa for Americans. For example, the last time Trump was in office, Brazil came up with that Brazilian visa. It was like between $100, $200. They end up getting rid of it. The last one, I know I had to buy a visa upon entry before. No, I think it was before entry. My first trip in Brazil in 2017. I believe that's when Trump took office, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So there's just a few little things that might happen. Now, on the flip side of that, we've all seen the currency exchange flying up as soon as Trump won office. Okay. It's flying up for the most part. All right. I think Brazil is crazy right now with the exchange rate. All right. Colombia, I mean, the American dollar is dominating right now. I mean, it is what it is. They say that the dollar power is everything. Trump policies could boost it even further, making life cheaper for bros in many countries. And with BRICS countries charging U.S. currency dominance, Trump's stance might just keep the dollar at the top, which means cheaper beers and bungalows for passport bros abroad, right? So Trump he's an aggressive president, all right? I'm not saying, once again, I'm not political. I know we got Dems in the chat. We got Repubs in the chat. We got Trump fans. We got people that don't like Trump. I can take it either or, Democrats or Kamala or anything for the most part. But at the same time, if you are expat, you probably would have wanted Trump to win because, generally speaking, he's somewhat of a bully, and they're going to make sure that the American dollar kind of stays strong and might even surpass. All right. So just keep that in mind. Said my first trip to Brazil 2003 with visa needed. Listen, when elections happen and a different president, the whole world switches up a little bit. I'm telling you right now, people kept asking me in the DR, who do I want? Who am I voting for? Who do I want to win? Not really who I'm voting for. Who do I want to win? And the crazy part is, I'm gonna be honest with you, they didn't even know Kamala was running for office. They just said, hey, do you want Trump to win? Do you want Trump? Are you voting for Trump? I don't think they even know who the other candidate was. This is how popular this guy is, even overseas. He has a real big personality, whether you like him or not. Okay? So the unfortunate thing to some about Kamala is she just wasn't well known. They still thought it would have been Biden and against Trump. They had no idea Kamala was even running in the DR. They just kept asking me, hey, you want to vote for Trump? And I even told him, I said, hey, man, you do realize that, I don't think y'all really want Trump to win because, Trump, usually when they get in the office, they kind of be a little bit more strict on immigrants coming into the country. Okay? Jabbar says that would be a negative, but countries losing expat money. Sometimes they just do it out of just spite. They just do it. And then at the same time, it's $100 for a visa, $200 for a visa. It's a minor inconvenience. If you want to really get to Brazil, you're going to go to Brazil. You're not going to be worried about the $100 fee or $200 fee. Okay. And they'd be lax. I still owe Brazil like $200 in immigration. They don't be caring, bro. They really invite tourism. Everybody loves Americans. Okay. They love American money. They love the fact that you spend your money and go home and don't take any jobs away. All right. From their economy. That's the thing about these countries. The crazy thing about our country is immigrants are allowed to come and take jobs from us without any repercussions for the most part. We're probably one of the only countries besides maybe the rest of the Western countries that allow immigrants to come in, pretty much get a job, get a loan, get a house, tap into our credit system. They do have to pay a special tax if I'm not mistaken. But some of them don't even pay that tax for the most part, So it's, they got a lot of little programs for the immigrants. I used to date a Haitian girl back in the day, and she had all types of benefits. I used to be amazed. I'm like, how the hell you get all these benefits? You getting the check, you getting food stamps, you getting all this shit. Like she tapped into every program the government had to offer as a Haitian immigrant, and she's still in America. She's my ex too. I'd have called ICE on her ass. Now think about it. A little crazy ass. All right. J. Clyde says, I've been asked a few times here in Colombia about Trump too. That's what I'm saying. Don't nobody know who Kamala is, man. Don't nobody know who she is. They might have said, "Oh, the female president or something," but they don't know her name. They don't know her name, bro. G-Man says, "Okay." Someone said, "I got my tap dancing shoes on." Listen, bro. I'm not even. I'm trying to tell you. Listen. I'm more focused on the American dollar staying strong for the most part. Okay, more than anything. That's the main thing. And no taxes. That's a good thing. I'm not really concerned about the Republicans, the Democrats, or Kamala or anything like that. To be honest with you. All right. T-Mac says, I have no problems with immigrants, but I take exception to the illegal ones. I know two from Colombia who went there because they heard about the benefits. They were too lazy to work in Colombia. All right. I don't think Trump policies will affect Colombia. Listen, this is what you got to understand. You know, America dishes out a lot of money to South America and the Caribbean. America dishes out a lot of money all over the world, actually. They got naval bases and bases all throughout the world for the most part. America America does the international bridging. Let me just say that. All right. Let me go ahead and see if anybody want to pull up in the chat. Let me know what you guys think about Trump America for the passport, bros. Okay. If you guys want to pull up, you're welcome to pull up. Okay. Hopefully we don't get in too many arguments here. I know this is kind of, I'm talking about politics for the most part, but hopefully we don't get into too many arguments, because I know guys want to argue back and forth. Look, Trump won. It is what it is, fam. He won. Okay. Whether you like it or not, he's the president of the United States. Okay. I said Trump 2024. You know what's funny, man? Guys who trying to call me and argue about politics, I'd be like, look, bro, not today. Okay? Not today. I like buying politicians. I don't like voting for them. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. Okay? Somebody said I was legit terrified of Harris being in the White House. China owns the West Coast. Hell, China owns damn near California. You know what? Chad the Great makes an excellent point. Man, I've been on Instagram looking at this, seeing Venezuelan girls and Colombian women all in Dallas. They had the Falcons game and shit. I'm just like, how the fuck will you get to the Falcons game? Chad the Great says, I know hella girls from Cartagena and Medellin that came across the border with no issue. They're OnlyFans stripping here in the U.S. Yeah. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I mean, that's probably going to remain the same. I mean, we've always had, women coming up from South America stripping and stuff like that, even back in the day. But I think personally that the companies, like the way politics works, the companies and everything, it's going to be a financial benefit to these companies that, work with ICE directly and have government contracts for deportation and searching and all stuff. It's going to be big, bro. It's going to be pretty bad. It's going to be pretty bad. It's going to be pretty bad. I promise you. In my opinion, it's going to be pretty bad. Heard BMC got a German BBW giving him a stack of wheat to clap her cheeks in Boca Chica. Okay. That bummed. If that was you trying to crack a joke there, that kind of bummed there, buddy. I guess you didn't read Project 2025. I did not read Project 2025. I did see some videos about it. The OnlyFans going to get it. Man, I hope they cut OnlyFans. Shit, cut the hell out of OnlyFans, man. They said a woman made $68 million on OnlyFans and retired. $68 million. That's ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous. All right, since I don't want to get too deep into all the the Project 25s and the programs for Black men about Kamala Harris. I didn't want to get too deep dive into that, man. All right, I didn't want to go too deep into that. T-Max says, I'm an independent, but I like the Trump effect on Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin been shooting through the roof. Bitcoin been shooting through the roof, man. If you don't like Trump, you better enjoy the money to make next 4 years. Okay, Mike M., Mr. McFly. But the immigrants, illegal immigrants are impacting the neighborhood. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Says simps are the problem. Man, they've always been simps, unfortunately. But not to this magnitude of making women millionaires overnight on OnlyFans. I still, for the life of me, don't understand the draw in that. Please, somebody tell me what's the draw in subscribing to a woman. I mean, you got ghetto broads making millions of dollars a year on OnlyFans. I'm like, bro, you subscribe to a hood rat? You want to see a hood rat? Oh my God, they was free coming up, man. That was the bottom of the barrel was a damn hood rat. But Travel says, if you have investments in U.S. markets, then you are loving Trump now. Listen, this is the thing, man. Like, it seemed like the issue that I saw that was basically, I mean, America wasn't in the right trajectory as it was. And you have the vice president running for president, and it's already bad. Who will vote for something that's already going wrong? And then they're more concerned about letting men into bathrooms. And I'm like, bro, what are you really talking about? And then the Democrats did not select, to me, they didn't select the right person, in my opinion. It's one thing to not be a great orator. That's fine. There's been many presidents that weren't great orators. But when somebody asks you a question and you kiki and caca and try to change it, it was just like, I'm like, come on, what the fuck? Do you even know what that person is asking you? Like, come on now. Shout out to my man Crypto Bro in the building. Turn out super chat, man. I really appreciate that. Said, crypto will free you. Bye 9 to 5 job. Listen, man, Bitcoin is tearing up through the roof. Ethereum, crypto is going to be where it's at, man. Crypto is going to be where it's at. Somebody said JD Vance is up next. I don't see the other parties taking it for a while. Unfortunately, the Democrats, they really insulted the American people, starting with a black base. You know, when it comes to your community or your demographic, you got to always be loyal to your base. And the Democrat base for the last 50, 60 years have been the black community. When you insult the black community, then it just kind of that's the root. That's what the Democrats wanted, that root of the black base. When you insult the black community by bringing out Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Quavo, it's like, man, black people don't care about that shit no more. That shit worked during Obama's administration. And he knew the artists to pick. He was picking Lupe Fiasco and what's the John Legend and stuff. He wasn't even picking those type of artists. You picking hood rats and shit. I mean, come on, man. That was an insult to the black demographic. So the black demographic, you just kind of abandoned them for the most part. You know, like people was like, man, come on, man. We ain't trying to hear what the hell Cardi B got to say. Nobody give a damn about what Cardi B talking about. That's an insult. Mr. Vulture says, BMT, you're right. When I'm abroad, I don't care at all about what's going on in the West. A lot of people in the West stress out about things that don't directly affect them. Abroad, you just tune in and out. Yeah. I don't even know how I would handle living back in America long term, man, because when you adjust, especially in the DR with this island lifestyle, it takes like 30 minutes to do something really routine. Everything is just so rush in America, so stress. Now, one thing I will say about the DR, about in general, I gotta watch what I say here, but the stress will come from the options. Let me say that. There are many options that you now possess that you probably did not have in the States. Options. I'm just going to say dating options. Okay. The island, this is the island full of women, and they won't need and will compete for a man. All right. Highly. Okay, so that's one thing that you have to be mindful of to get like some work done, to not just get too out there with all the damn women on the side. That makes any sense. All right, shout out, aka the gangster bankster. All right, $2 super chat says strip clubs are going out of business. LOL. You think so? I don't know. There's gonna be some thirsty dudes always, man. Thirsty dudes gonna be around always. What about black men still voting with their women like good boys, and the sisters still giving them hate? I don't know the stats, man. I thought I don't really know the stats. I know. I think Georgia was red though. I believe Georgia was red. I don't know the stats on. I think black men still voted pretty much for the Democrats though, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but you're entitled to vote for who you want for, man. They already did all the free to women thing back in 2018, right? Blacks still gave them 85%. Black male voters doubled their Republican vote. Right. Lamb says the Dems didn't give you anything to vote for, and they take the black vote for granted. The economy is bad, high interest rates, high rent, high real estate. It was a no-brainer. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, bro, the country's already super high inflation right now. Shit costing through the roof. Americans are trying to leave. Immigrants are trying to come in. It's all over the place right now. It's just not being ran properly from the outside looking in, as far as I know. So if that's the case, the Democrats would have had to switch up their strategy. All right. They also would have had to pick a better candidate that can really speak, somebody besides Kamala. My whole issue with Kamala is she just didn't speak well, man. What up, Wonderful Travels? Shout out to my man, Wonderful Travels in the building. Shout out to you, bro. I had just met you, man. I actually went to Vent Nightclub Friday night. Had a good time, too. San Domingo is cool, man. You just got to really, I hate to say know how to move, but you just got to know kind of where to go. You'll be fine, like in most countries. Since BMT should post a Bitcoin QR code so brothers can support your content with Bitcoin. That's a good idea, man. That's a good idea. Butt trouble. You know what? Let me put this in the chat. Hold on. This is a good question. I noticed that it's the butt trouble I used to have beef with. I don't know if it's the butt trouble. You changed the icon, brother. I noticed that most passport bros are Trump supporters. You know what? Hold on. I want to see something in the chat. Let me put up a poll real quick. I'm just curious now. I'm just curious. Hold on. Let me put up a poll real quick. All right. Where's that poll at? I really want to see. How can I phrase this? Are you a Trump supporter? Yes or no? All right. There we go. I want to see what the poll says. Let me see what it is in the chat. I just put a poll in the chat, man. I want to see your guys' opinion because my man Buck Trousers, I know that most passport bros are Trump supporters. This is a poll time. Right. We've been doing a lot of polls lately. Shout out to who told me I do the poll. Was it Traveling with Jay? Somebody did a poll with. It might have been Travels with Jay. Trump has overseas tax incentives. Most military vote Republican. You know what's funny, man? Like my grandfather was a strong Republican boy. My granddad, man, he can stand black people. He was straight down south Republican, man. Straight up down south Republican. And my grandma couldn't stand it. It was supposed to be so funny. And it's funny because he can kind of split families to a certain degree, but he just wouldn't move. He didn't like Obama like that. So yeah, man, we be split. It's okay. We be split. You're entitled to your vote. Come on now, Mike Lowry. I can't repeat that on the show, brother. Come on now, Mike Lowry. Mr. Bad Boys. Let me see. Okay, let me see what the poll looking like. 70% says yes. Okay, I can't even see the no. Hold on, I can't even see the no's. All right. Why can't I see the poll? Okay, there we go. 31% says no. 70% says yes. So it's going between 70 and 30 right now. 70 and 30. Let's see here. Roland says, I've always been Republican, especially while in the military. You want a pay raise on time, you vote Republican. Shout out to my man, Roland Travels. Okay, Roland. Mustafa says, Trump? Is that my pro-black brother? Really? You voted for Trump, bro? I was just assuming you voted for Kamala. You know, you over there pro-Africa. I just assumed Kamala. I just assumed he's a Democrat, brother. I'm sorry. Aaron Davis says Trump all day. Shout out my man T. Max. He's launching some programs for Bitcoin education programs in Colombia for young people. Shout out my man T. Max. Investments are already up. Travel money and investment money is in the mix. Let me look at that poll one more time. Right now, it's like 70-30%. All right. Okay, so it's not bad. I wouldn't say all the password bros in the chat were going for Trump. 30% going for the other side. Said pro-black. We was wolves. Says pro-black doesn't equal Democrat or liberal. Yeah, I'm just messing with Mustafa. That's Hotep who vote for Democrats. Okay. Somebody said the poll is more red than Alabama. Somebody pull up, man. Let me see if I can get somebody to pull up. Let's discuss this real quick. Somebody say, all right, you know, do y'all really think that a lot of the women was really with Kamala because she was a woman? You think the majority of that was that? I think a lot of women really voted for Trump, to be honest with you. In my opinion, I think women voted for Trump, man. I think the whole country voted for Trump for the simple fact that inflation is just out of control. Eggs, like I heard eggs like $5, $10 or something like that. I think somebody told me, I saw a commercial on Instagram where somebody selling a seeded watermelon for $17. I'm like, what? Do you know how cheap seeded watermelon is in the DR, bro? It's like nothing, like $1, $2 for a seeded watermelon in the DR. All right, shout out to my man Marius with the 5 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. The current Democratic Party is anti-ethical to black male empowerment. Are you saying Joe Biden, the vice president of Obama? Okay. Shout out to my man Kevin Johnson, Global Push. He's also a member of the 5 super chat. Is Coinbase still going to be a good option for investing in Bitcoin? I believe so. It should be. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be, Kevin Johnson? I thought that, you know, Bitcoin was a wrap when it went down to 15,000, but goddamn Bitcoin, bro. What up, Rain? Says you in San Domingo? You know what San Domingo needs? San Domingo, man, and this is for all my brothers that might be thinking about some type of entrepreneurship. And I can't tell you all the laws or anything like that in concerns, but I know brothers have bars all throughout the island and stuff. Santo Domingo really needs like a bar, bro. Not like it has a bunch of, not a bunch, it has rooftop, it has a cooler rooftop out here. It has many clubs, but it does not have a legitimate expat bar. The only somewhat expat bar is like a low-key gay bar. You know what I'm saying? And I found that out the damn hard way. One of my partners, homeboys, told me, he's like, yeah, man, just go by this bar. I ain't gonna say the name of the bar, but it's on the Colonial. He told me, hey, man, yeah, man, just go by there, man. You'll find some other expats. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go by the little bar, and I'm noticing like the fruitiness. I'm like, wait a minute. All right, okay, so the waiter is fruity. Okay, fine. It's a little zesty, whatever. But then I'm seeing like the stares and shit. You know what I'm saying? You're like, wait a minute. Like, why is this dude looking at me like this? You know what I mean? And then I'm like, so I call another guy that's been living out here for 5-6 years. I said, hey, bro, I'm at this little spot right here. And it's, it's a little weird. He's like, why you at that spot? I said, my homeboy told me about this spot. He was like, man, that's a LGBT friendly spot. I said, oh shit. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. So yeah, San Domingo needs like a little cool little expat bar. It could be in Zona Colonial. Zona Colonial is cool. They need to put it somewhere else, anywhere else. But if a dude came out here and really wanted to make some money, instead of going to Sosua or Punta Cana, I would say open up an expat bar right here in San Domingo, bro. San Domingo. Even more so than Santiago, I say San Domingo. Because a lot of expats don't have anything to do at night. And the rooftop bars, those are cool. The clubs are cool. But it needs to be like a real deal, like kind of like a flip-flops here or something like needs to be in San Domingo. You will eat all day, I promise you. I promise you. And I help you personally. I love entrepreneurship. All right. It's a lot of money. Let me tell you something. It is a lot of money to be made overseas, bro. It really is. I got guys opening up bars in Rio right now. They own the app. We got guys opening up a spot vibes in Colombia. It's money to be made. It really is, because you are tapping into a market that's underserved in a lot of cases. And I don't care if you're black or white, okay? English and your culture, it matters, especially overseas. And DR is one of them islands. It's not like split like Thailand is, where everybody kind of hang with their own little ethnic group. Here, it's like I see like white guys and black guys kind of kicking and hanging together a little more tough than probably anywhere else that I've seen. All right, I guess maybe it's the Caribbean. Maybe it's that whole Pirate Bay thing going on. So that's why I say that if somebody opened up a little bar in San Domingo, they'll eat. Shout out, man. Wonderful talk. Super chat, man. I really appreciate that. It says BMT, you and Zoe should collab next year and do a Halloween party in Medellin and Cartagena. I think it would do numbers. Yeah, we should. All right, let's bring on, man, obstacles, opportunities on. What's good, my brother? Oh, there we go. Make America great again. Happy Veterans Day, my brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What's good, man? What's going on in Trump America? What do we have to look for? All right.
Bags on bags.
I got my blue on right now, so that don't mean I'm a Democrat, but got my blue on. What's going on, brother?
It would be good either way. I fought for your right to do that too. So shout out to anybody who voted for the Harris. I'm not really tripping, but we won. So it's random. No, yeah, you want to make that clear. But as far as what it means for the passport bros, and from my opinion, man, it's definitely about economics. I think one of the biggest things that block a lot of passport bros or potential passport or aspiring passport bros is definitely that bag, right? How do I set up me living overseas? How do I make this work, right? Especially when it comes down to just money, right? Everything else I'm sold on, whether it be Brazil, Colombia, whatever. They're sold already on that. They're like, dang, I want to do that. I love that vibe. So the money is the only thing that they haven't just figured out. And I know for sure when it comes down to economics, there's be more potential in a Trump administration, not only reflected from obstacles to opportunity, but reflected in the market itself. There you go.
That baby on right there. You know what I'm saying?
Let
me go ahead and slap that on real quick. Go ahead.
Reflected in the market itself. So at the end of the day, more opportunities, more different types of what is it called? Ingenuity, creativity, and you guys can figure out what type of economy you want to place yourself in, whether it be an entrepreneur like yourself or whether it be a full-time investor like myself. either way is two lifestyles or two different type of economic methods that will allow you to live that passport, bro, life. So we're going to be winning.
Shout out, man. Will 3 with the 5 super chat said, here's a tip why it's cheap. Shabu in you. All right. Talking about crypto. Appreciate that tip. My man, Will the Thrill. Welcome to the show, Ronan.
What's going on, brothers? How are you doing? Thank you for bringing me up there, BMT. How you doing, Obstacles? Semper Fi. Happy birthday to you, brother. Right along with Happy Veterans Day. You know, us Marines, we have back-to-back holidays. Birthday, bro? The Marine Corps' birthday, 249th year of the Marine Corps.
Okay, nice. So before we even get to that, man, what's going on with these bullets hitting the planes and over Haiti? What kind of bullets those is, Ronnie?
It got to be at least 7.62. AK rounds are the most frequent rounds you can see all over the world. So, you know, if they shooting rounds at a plane, it's most likely an AK round, which is 7.62.
So an AK can reach all the way up to that height accurately?
1,000 to 1,500 is the maximum effective range.
1,000 to 1,500. What was the flight? Where's the plane at there?
Depends on when they caught it. Yeah.
I think the plane was landing. I think it was landing.
Oh yeah. If they were shooting across the flight deck, they can definitely hit it.
Damn. That's crazy, bro.
Definitely.
And somebody said in the chat, I think they made a good point. They said that, you know, Biden and Kamala, they're gonna let that slide.
I mean, at this point, what can you do? You're about out of here. Anything you think you're about to do is going to get canceled by Trump anyway, so you might as well just sit there and just coast it on out. You in the holiday mode at this point. It's November. Go and have your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, because y'all about to be up out of there on January 6th. You know.
Interesting. Let me check this poll. You got something you got to say? Watch about this poll, Ronan, about Trump America.
I mean, like I said, the Trump effect is in full effect, really. You know, the minute he was confirmed as possibly being the new president of the United States, number 47, you know, currency went up. Our currency rate went up. A lot of politics as far as different world leaders started retracting certain things they were doing, saying they were going to go ahead and turn over a new leaf. BRICS had even taken a step back, even though BRICS is a scam anyway. They're not even going to function with BRICS. They're going to roll with, of course, the American currency, which it was never a threat. It was never a fucking threat. BRICS was never a threat.
Why would you say BRICS wasn't ever a threat, though?
Because the countries that are trying to back it are weak.
Brazil,
their economies
China?
are all. Brazil's economy is weak. China's economy is weak. You heard about their real estate fall not more than about 5 years ago. You heard about their banks being closed because most of the Chinese invested in real estate. And when the real estate market crashed, a lot of the Chinese lost a lot of their retirement money because they lost it in real estate. So they closed all the banks. You don't remember all those protests they had in front of the banks? That shit didn't change overnight. That shit didn't change overnight. You know what I'm saying? So what country of those 5 or 10 countries that are involved in BRICS, what country can handle the global economy on their own that's reliable? Hold on, let me get it out. That are reliable and consistent. None of those countries are reliable and consistent. The only one is
Russia
is not reliable or consistent. Not reliable or consistent.
What was BRICS though? It was Brazil, Russia. Is that India?
China, India.
South Africa.
Right? South Africa.
Then you have some other countries that kind of came on board.
Yes.
So you got Russia and China. That could possibly be a threat.
Nah.
Teamed up together.
Nah.
No. And then one thing I want to put in there, he killed it. Everything was on point what he just said. But you know, South Africa can't even supply. South Africa can't even supply electricity. A constant electricity in their nation. That's one thing. Then when you roll over to a place like India, come on, stop playing. All right, so when we have a conversation when it comes down to China and Russia, what most people ignore is 80% of utilization is what the US dollar is operating at right now. And that's not only just people across the world like individuals, right? But it's also corporations and companies and businesses. Most companies prefer to have some type of financing coming in the USD because it's stable. Imagine if you're taking it out in Turkish lira and the Turkish lira just slid by 250% on a decline of a value. That's ridiculous. And so everybody pegs it to the US dollar. The US dollar actually became gold basically. And it's because of a lot of things, but net, When you go to places in Argentina and people are running around scared because the peso is losing value, they put their faith in the USD. They're like, black markets start operating. They start trading Brazilian reais. Right now, if you're in Brazil, they'll give you, let's say the exchange rate's 33 to $1. They'll give you 60 Brazilian reais to $1 in the black market just to transfer the Brazilian real into USD because it stores value and it could be utilized anywhere in the planet. That's how powerful it is.
Exactly.
T-Mac says Russia has a smaller economy than California. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Smaller than Apple.
Russia has a smaller.
Let's put it this way: their biggest export is oil, and it's usually to China and certain things like that. Right now, with the war they got going on with Ukraine, they don't have enough steel, so China has to help produce their steel in order for them to even drop bombs. But they have a higher production rate than the United States.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't do the digging when it comes to global politics. Mm-hmm. They just do the surface level stuff. And then, of course, YouTube and TikTok went crazy with BRICS as just to promote it. But it wasn't. If you looked at the economies and the stability of the economies, none of them have been consistent for years enough to support a global economy. None of them. Mm-hmm. And then you have infighting between these, because think about this. Mm-hmm. India and China are about to start fighting. You know why? Because a lot of industries are going to move from China over to India. How did China actually become stable? They started putting their people into training for STEMs and production for Apple and all these other countries to come in. With all the issues in China, India is now competing directly with China for production in industry, and a lot of people are jumping. A lot of companies are jumping from China over to India for production and cheaper labor.
My man Mustafa says Russia and China is not going to back anything that's not powerful.
Yeah, well, again, people just miss this kind of point. Like if I was Russia and China, I'd do the same thing. It's called easy propaganda. So I would just use soft power because most of you Americans, y'all hate yourselves. So I'll just feel on that. I'm coming out with BRICS. I actually also, China and Russia do a great job of creating an image like they never put people in body bags, even though they caused a lot of wars and have millions and millions of death toll upon their hands in fighting in war. Not even nowhere close to what America did globally when we controlled the world. Remember, we set out. We got dragged into World War II. We didn't even want to go. So again, most people have these images in their mind like, man, US dollar is crap, when it beat every currency in the world. Every other currency devalued every other large company, even the ruble and the yuan and etc., against the US dollar. But they're like, hey, look, if we just shake hands in a photo and then say, hey, BRICS is coming and control the world, half of Americans would probably be like, man, that's the end of us. We doom and gloom. It's a great psyop.
To add to what he just said, it was kind of funny because BRICS just announced their currency, the look of their currency. They printed a couple currency dollars. Not more than a couple months ago, right before the election. I thought it was kind of funny. It kind of reminded me of Dr. Umar in this pretend school that he's trying to build in Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying?
Man, stop. I donate to that. I donate to that too, 13
brother. Years. It took him 10 to 13 years to come out with the currency, actual note to look like BRICS. Kind of like Dr. Umar with the school that was supposed to be open. It ain't open.
Hold on. What's it called? BRICS? What's it called? BRICS currency?
Yeah. They actually came out with the currency note. They actually have one printed up.
Oh,
this
really?
Okay. The formal look of the BRICS note. I think it came out about a month or two ago. It was kind of funny. It was coming up right before the elections, kind of like a little more pressure on who was going to win the election. And then the minute he gets elected, oh, we're not going to stand by that BRICS. We're going to go ahead and run with the American dollar.
Oh, because of Trump. Yeah. Is this how it looks right here?
I think it is. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That shit ugly as hell, man.
Come on, man.
And look, all the countries had to put their stamp of approval and put their flag on there. Come on, man.
Exactly. Like, why yours on top? Put mine's on the right. Why yours on the left? It's probably fighting about that. Come on, man. And then you got to look at how much, bro, that's like 3 billion people. That's just a lot of people who's going to have different directions and different perspectives. I mean, it's nice. It look cute. But at the end of the day, It's like, come on, man, let's get serious.
So hold on. So basically, I could take this currency right here and spend it in Brazil, in China. That's the whole new model, right?
Supposedly, yeah, when they enact it, when they actually produce it, but they haven't started producing it yet. These are just sample notes. They're not in production. But it took them 10 years to come up with a sample.
Yeah. And then you still got to think about the infrastructure. You still got to think about everything. It has to be implemented in the marketplace. Then again, like I said, if you were in a country like Turkey, Argentina, or any other country, and you were worried about like, man, I need to have some reserve. Like, right? If I put $100,000, which represents at a certain time point, 100,000 US dollars, and then now my currency is devalued by 50%. So it's now $50,000. What currency am I going to store or convert my money in? This is my future. This is all I got is my cash. You understand? A lot of places overseas, they don't be having stock portfolios and own Apple. And America is one of the places where you can go. And let me just say this, one more thing. America, I know people make fun, but it's a free market, guys. People feel comfortable because they could put their USD and know that they could use it in the American market. You know, China, you can't do nothing. I'll get your currency. I got this thing called BRICS currency, but I can't buy land. I can't buy stocks. I'm restricted out of the market because I'm not a foreign national, or a national, excuse me. So again, you saying this currency is for everybody, but you can't buy this here. You can't buy that here. It just doesn't work like that. It doesn't make it actually, you know, cooperative with the whole type of organization. You got to ease up on those restrictions and allow people to invest in your market. If not, why you got the money? Let's share money, but you can't buy nothing in my country.
This is an exclusive currency that you can only use in 7 nations. Come on.
In 7 nations where they'll block each other from investing and put money in it.
Exactly. Because they don't all get along. That was the funniest thing. All these guys do not get along. The only reason they have an issue with anything with trying to get involved with BRICS is because they have some kind of sanction put on them by the U.S. or through NATO. That's why they're involved with this.
Hey, MT, you ever seen the movie Jobs, right? They had Steve Jobs when he created the Nexus, like that little black box, and he was like, when he got kicked out of Apple, and then during it, they were like, yo, what was it about? He was like, I just made it because I knew Apple had to buy me back in and they was going to be scared of it. So he just used it as a negotiating tool to get himself back in a more powerful position at Apple. And when they did, they had to buy him out, and they bought him for billions. And what is it, 500 million shares back into Apple company and bought out Nexus. But that's what he said, man, it didn't even have an operating system. It didn't have a software operating system. But he was like, bro, they're going to buy me out and I'm going to buy myself back and I'm going to be the CEO. But he created that whole entire thing just because he knew competition breeds that. Better negotiating tip when I come back to the table. America, stop doing this to us. Oh, you seen what we did with BRICS?
Nothing.
Yeah, right.
Will through it says Russian GDP is 2 trillion, California is 4 trillion.
Which is just disrespectful. California by itself is in Russia.
That's crazy. Russia might not be as big as people think it is, man. You know that map.
It's a big by continent wise. It's big by land mass, but the people and the production that it puts out is one, they can't even get to the minerals or the materials that they actually do produce in their land. They don't have the equipment to do that. Russia real antiquated. They don't have redundancies built in their system. Their machinery and everything that they do is antiquated. It's not as advanced as American technology is. You know, they've never been that far in advance. They just do things old school, harsh kind of way when they build things.
And besides, you know, selling to the world, besides the AK-47, what do you actually be like, yo, we buy from Russia? Like, you know, what
oil.
Phone? What
they got oil.
Yeah, and the oil and guns. That's it. And then when I said, when you know, marginalize people out of your market, you don't even get foreign direct investment like that. And if it is, it's heavily restricted. And so, you know, as an investor, why would I go there? You know, I'm not even favored. I don't even get the freedom of choice. And so at the end of the day, it's like people think Russia's powerful, and they are in some ways. I'm not knocking that. They got a nuke, right? but not as powerful as America. Texas also beats probably Russia. That's our second largest, GDP inside of America. So Apple got us larger market cap. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're just a freaking, telecommunication phone company. But dang, we really killing it. I think people just really don't understand how much we're killing it when it comes to economics. That's why everybody kissed the ring.
Matter of fact, around the 60s and 70s, China was fucking broke. The only reason they started to advance is because we took our products over there for them to produce. That's when they started.
You're welcome, China.
Yes.
You're welcome.
That's why China can talk shit, but at the end of the day, they're bound down to every president in order to get their fucking stuff into the United States.
Didn't Clinton do something with China too?
Like that. Huh?
Didn't Clinton do something with China too to kind of put them on?
He put some tariffs on them. I think he put some sanctions on them back then too.
Yeah, we've been helping them out a lot. Now, again, don't get me wrong, they didn't fumble the rock. They could have pulled in Africa and fumbled the whole time.
There you go.
So no, but I'm just saying they could have fumbled the rock. They did all right.
How you figure Africa fumbled, man?
Come on, man, that would be a whole nother stream, bro.
Like abused. Africa's the world stepchild.
They've been fumbling the rock for centuries now.
They're getting smacked around by every goddamn country. And they got all the rare earth metals that produce most of the technology. The fuck?
Yeah.
How you not shut that shit down and say you're going to work on our terms? Fuck everybody.
You can't complain about anybody else because everybody else has to fight everybody else. So Africa's not a special situation. Everybody has to fight somebody. Chinese people had to fight Europeans. Europeans had to fight Chinese. Everybody fights everybody. So that's not an excuse, So you've just been fumbling the rock. And if you don't want to say that because your skin is black, then you need to get real. But at the end of the day, going back to China, it's like, man, we might think they're everything, but they still have to figure out this curve where they're trying to create a middle class. They're trying to figure things out from where they were, from extreme poverty to a little bit more wealth. You get me? Their GDP per capita is just like Brazil, about 15K, an annual basis. Now they're still just trying to figure out how to increase that and go up. And they're having a problem now because they let free capital reign that gave them the economic prosperity, but now they're trying to douse it with capitalism or communism right now. And then they're trying to figure out, like, if they go too much, then they might mess up the future of where the economy is going. So they're really battling themselves, their communism also with their capitalism. How much of which mix do they want to put in going into the future to get them to the next level? And they're having a hard time figuring that out.
Good point.
But I tell you what, they do build infrastructure very good. Like, they kill it and crush it at infrastructure. But again, one thing that make America amazing is not so much what we have going on internally, is how we got everything operating and moving for us externally. Like, a lot of people question all our diplomacy and our foreign policies, but bro, we basically own all the airways, the waterways. We have tremendous power. The memorandum agreements, the cooperations. I asked somebody the other day, do this one, BMT. What is the Secret Service of South Africa? Like the CIA equivalent, name it.
There is none, man.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
why you all down and about the face about that, man? Why can't you be proud that America stands for something? Why can't you be proud about that?
They should have one. They should have one.
No, they should.
Why should they?
I mean, they should, bro. Come on.
Africa's a continent. You're talking about all the individual countries within it.
You said South Africa. You said South Africa, right?
Yeah, South Africa. Or anyone. Name anyone. Name any African counterintelligence or intelligence
man, that's
agency.
how I come into America fantasy, brother. Like, come on, man.
We
want Africa to be good. Technically they should have it, but
you know how Africa can be great? All the continents got together, united, and made them all states like the United States. And then they took back all their rare earth metal access and controlled it for themselves.
Okay, but Ronan, where does that leave us?
That leaves us at the bartering table like everybody else in order to bid for proper trade agreement.
But wouldn't that hurt our American dollar? It would take it. It'll destroy everything.
Guess what the biggest deal is about all that? We still black at the end of the day. We could go over there and stay.
If they create that opportunity.
If they did that, why wouldn't all black people just go ahead and go over to Africa?
Which they haven't did yet. So
we'll see.
No, ain't no we'll see. I hope it don't happen.
I mean, yeah,
you see
personally, I don't think
that?
it's gonna happen. I'm just.
I don't think it will happen, and I hope it don't
Nah,
happen.
it's not going to happen in our lifetime because people can't get
it's just
along
too
like
many
that.
people.
Yeah.
It's too many people to
we
get
don't
along.
have a beef with Africans, but it's just like we all know that
It's not a beef within Africa. The African system is so corrupt by the people that are the political leaders in each country. They will never be able to all agree enough to do the things that need to be done in order to control it. And they keep them destabilized that for a reason. Me and Obstacle knows, anybody in the military, we understand about destabilizing governments to keep them off kilter so you can get them to do the things you want them to do by pretending that you're helping them.
When that brother that smashed all them women, when he over there, Equatorial Guinea?
Yeah. He was in Africa. Yeah. Equatorial Guinea. Let's not mess it up because that was pretty bad. He was out there smashing bad junks. But yeah, I think it was.
I seen some of the footage. Some of them chicks were terrible looking.
Hey, but that's what it is. Hey, but what I was gonna say is, look, guys. I know you guys love Africa, but here's one thing: Africans have issues with other Africans. Y'all, we got our flights in fantasy, and y'all can't even get along. If I vote for Trump and then you a Democrat, so let alone trying to go over to Africa, what they got going on is entirely different. Now, it's not like I don't want the best, but remember, I only have one citizenship. Africa's never opened, a rites of passage like the Jews have done or the Polacks have done because people have been, scattered across the world due to warfare.
It did.
No,
bro.
That was a farce. That was a farce.
That's one country.
But it's still a farce. Even once you get over there's some technicalities to that too.
Exactly.
I don't know about that. I just know they at least.
But what I'm saying is one country. Remember, we said how big that place is, right? And at the end of the day, I'm not really going back and forth about it. But even though he mentioned one thing, the leaders. One thing I always mention, remember, make Americans great again. Africans in themselves have disappointed African leaders who paid the ultimate sacrifice and probably got assassinated by French or got assassinated by some other country. And guess what they did the next day? They probably burnt tires for a week and went back to bartering. Mm-hmm. So it's a people and a leader combination.
Yep.
They burn tires for a week. Listen, everybody knows. I'm telling you, everybody in the world knows from an embassy, burn tires for a week, and then they go back to carrying water. Because at the end of the day, people know we can touch an African leader and people won't probably do nothing. But if they did that to somebody in China, it'd be a problem. Every embassy would have to be evacuated if America thought about doing something to a Chinese leader at an embassy. They would never even try to do it because they know it'd be too much from the people. But in Africa, they're like, man, they're going to burn tires for 2 weeks.
Carte blanche.
Barbecue, Mr. Barbecue would probably take over for a bit, and then we're going to flood the block and come back and spend it and get the power again. So it's the people in combination with the leaders, and then that creates the situation. So again, Africa just going to have to figure it out for themselves. Nobody can save Africans but Africans. No African American. You ain't that. You can't even save yourself in America half of the time, according to you. So let alone you going back to Wakanda and pulling the Killmonger. You seen what they did to Killmonger, right? So come on, cut it out. Killmonger tried to go back and do it too, but you see what happened to him. So you know what I'm saying? They sold him out. And they worked with the CIA to take him out.
Ruby's coming right here about Will Thrill. He says that's what Gaddafi was trying to do when he was killed.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was trying to bring back the gold standard for the dollar for his currency and become a world currency leader. And when they figured that out, they took him out.
Obama.
And that's supposed to happen. Remember, that's why I said, like, Africans, y'all be wanting to get power. And then y'all play these kiddie games, these UN games. You talking about, I'm trying to take over, get power, but they killed me. Like, yes, we put hands on you. People put hands on people. There's nukes, there's tanks, there's jet flyers. Like, yes, people put hands on people.
Let me just say this, Obstacles and BMT and everybody listening. Black Americans are the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. We have a level head, we're intelligent, and we're fucking aggressive. Africans are not. They're docile. They don't know how to be aggressive, even when they outnumber their enemy. Hundreds to one. They will not raise up and throw them out. Let us have that kind of advantage here and see what the fuck happens. Because we're that goddamn aggressive. We get in your goddamn face.
You know what?
We don't back down. Africans are too fucking docile to do that shit. And every time I got in a panel, we playing a long game. Goddamn, how long of a game are y'all playing?
And you know what? I'm gonna say this, Ronan. I can't say I disagree with you there, but I remember the Satan Center has said that, and I can't stand Satan Center. He actually,
but he was right.
But sometimes you gotta go past the person who said it and listen to what he said. And you just like, damn, y'all are the popular. Y'all are the like that's supposed to be our saving grace. That's supposed to be our last little stomping ground, and y'all just kind of gave it away, man. Like Black Americans have a reason why we was in the situation we was in. We were just outnumbered. So it's
outnumbered and outgunned,
and still
outnumbered, unorganized. You know, but I'm sitting here like y'all supposed to.
Shout out to Burkina Faso. Within 2 years, has started doing things in order to throw their opposition out of their goddamn country. Shout out to them for recognizing Burkina Faso. They're the ones that are starting the uprising within the African countries. You know, he ain't taking that shit. He's throwing the French out. He's throwing everybody out. He started doing deals with Russia, even though that's going to be a temporary situation because he wants independency without any assistance from any other country but his own. Smart. Get everybody the fuck up out of his country.
And you know the funny part
in the chat, man. Come on the panel, man.
And the funny part is the only country who actually came from poverty, like Africa, similar to Africa, is China. But China got there for cooperation with the West, particularly the United States of America. Just like Singapore has an amazing track record, but they did cooperation. So most Africans go to flight and fantasy talking about we're going to create our own language and then, go off the reserve and versus everybody else who actually succeeded and actually uplifting their country. They just said, hey, look, let's follow by what everybody else is doing. We put ourselves in a position where we carry water for America for the longest, and they actually didn't fumble it during the process. They actually did build up their country and infrastructure. They actually did do X, Y, and Z and opening themselves to that free market and that cooperation with the West. Now they're in a position where it's harder for us to kind of delete them or push them out the way.
Why are you calling for help, BNT? Why are you calling for help? He's like, where are my pro-African people at?
Man.
Yeah, where they at?
We're pro-African. We're just saying they should stand up for themselves and stop letting people run all over them. Stop paying ransoms to the fucking countries that were their conquerors at one point. I mean, even unfortunately, Haiti being the one country that uprised and threw their slave masters out, was still paying a ransom to France to this day for their own freedom. So is that freedom?
If they lost on the back
ransom?
Haitians are super intelligent too. They be knowing like 4 languages. Every Haitian chick I know either know English or she know enough English.
Well, not enough in this world now today. So again, they just need to compete. That's it. If you compete and you end up, look, people are supposed to take you out. This is not the playground. This ain't no hitting, none of that. I don't know why Africans be living in that flight to fantasy too much. It's like, bro, people are going to put hands on you. And I'll say this, listen, it's going to sound crazy, but you said they should be this. No, what I'm saying is African leaders should sell you out because this is what I'm saying. Check right now. Martin Luther King got a small placard on his grave somewhere, and nobody really went to bat for him. Same thing as Malcolm X. His wife and his family died broke. That's what happens when you ride for the people. So African leaders, meaning like, let's say a 10%er, understands like, man, even if I go to bat for these people, I'm probably going to get deleted, right? My family's probably going to get ostracized. And then guess what happens? The people go back to drinking, living life, dancing the Afro beats. I'm up here in the grave. I sacrificed my whole life and nobody did nothing for me. Why would you do that?
I want to give a shout out to my man Lamb 14. Said, do Africans really have their own leadership or install leaders?
Good question. Install leaders.
That's a good point. Good point. Shout out to WM Mustafa, the 5 super sticker, man. I really appreciate you showing support. You know who really finessed the game though? Like when I found out about Thailand not being colonized, how they was able to stay neutral through all these wars, all this colonization. I'm like, how did y'all do y'all diplomatic strategy? Because y'all was able to finesse it They probably
and
just they threw some lady boys at the white boys. Like, hey, here's some lady boys. Like, we good.
I mean,
here.
technically, wasn't Thailand really named Saipan at one point, and they were renamed indirectly by
I don't know. I don't know if
potential
they were
colonizers.
renamed. I just know that
they weren't colonized.
They were not colonized.
Right? They still have their monarchy.
They played the game. They played the game.
Exactly. And
and then of course that was a better situation.
Now we talking to Thai people. I remember a Thai girl telling me that I think they said they shrunk Thailand down though. Like the way they did it was a little bit different. Where they was like trying to control like territories surrounding Thailand to a certain degree, and Thailand was much bigger. So I did hear that, and I heard Cambodia was bigger as well.
Oh, Saipan was
about to
Taiwan. Thanks, Philippines.
You go to every country, everybody gonna say their land was bigger. You know, everybody feel like I got been victimized by those guys over there. Our land was originally bigger. That don't even make any sense. There's only so much land. Which one was bigger, Cambodia?
No, Cambodia was definitely bigger.
Okay,
they went through Southeast Asia. And they did their thing too. Now, don't get it twisted. They kind of did they little.
So Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, all those borders got redrawn.
Yeah.
Well, the French definitely had probably tried it.
But what I always tell people too, and I wrote an article recently about it. Like, bro, everybody did that. We keep giving the European its position like Thanos. That's not so. China did that when they ruled, and India did it when they were the #1 world power. Power does that. You don't not do that. China used to say they were the center of the universe. There was no other place. That's why Japan was always trying to invade China, because they were like, man, I'm tired of these people buggering us all the time, trying to get us to pay them taxes.
I thought China was trying to invade.
No, they both went back. They both went back and forth. They both were trying to conquer each other. But people act like in Asia, they were kissing, smoking the peace pipe only. There was no conquest. Then the Europeans came in and created warfare. That's far from the truth. Everybody did it. So drawing borders and taking land, that's just a human thing. Everybody was part of.
Well, there's Mr. Lindsay saying that Burma and Laos was all part of Thailand at one point. So that's where the realignment was.
I know what I'm talking about. I even heard that I might saw some documentary that the Japanese just didn't want to, what you call it? They didn't want the Chinese to mate with their women, basically. That's where all the wars really came from. They was like, nah, we got baddies over here. We don't want y'all coming over here trying to get our baddies. So they was just like, warring.
Stupid.
Like,
so you mean they were the original? They was the original passport bros, and they were trying to stop the passport bros to come in there.
Hey, Japan wasn't playing no games. They had a lot of
They wanted to try to keep that milky white skin, even though all of them have melanation in them.
I mean, you guys do realize that a lot of, it was a lot of mate guarding back in the day. Like, guys they didn't play just coming in their zones and just sleeping with all their women.
People don't like it now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
You get that side eye still every once in a while, especially if you got a baddie on your arm.
Right.
But because you protect it underneath the USA, you know what I'm saying? Empire, you could do as you please across this planet. If you was African, they'd probably air you out.
Shout out to Kirby Phil with the 5 super chat. What up, BMT gentlemen? Be safe. And I can say that since Trump won, my stocks are all up.
Yep. Everything's up.
Let me see what that poll looking like. Oh, it's still at 70-30. Still at 70-30. So okay.
70-30. But yeah, I think of economics, man. And then also, too, a lot of people are going to sit up here and be telling you guys like, oh, man, that's just stocks and stuff. But why can't y'all be a part of that? Y'all can. I'm trying to tell you, y'all can be a part of stocks. You can be a part of entrepreneurship. You can be a part of that. So at the end of the day, that's going to be beneficial for you guys, too. So the economy, you just got to get involved. That's it. And there's people out here trying to teach you how to get involved. Go call Charles Schwab or Fidelity, and then figure it out. But you could be involved and be a part of that too. So it's no reason you should be out. It's not saying unless you got 5 million, you can't open an account. That's not the rules. That's not how it goes. It's easier than it ever has been. To access assets is more democratized and accessible than ever. So get in the game.
Ozzy says Japan, Thailand, Liberia, Ethiopia, Nepal, Korea were never colonized.
That's interesting.
They went through Africa and called that bad boy up like he was a goddamn Christmas cake or something.
Yeah, but that's what happened when you eat.
The hell out of Africa, boy.
You get bodied. When you eat, you get bodied. And then also, too, It's nothing stopping Africans from adding value. Even Africans, when they talk about their liberation and going into the future, they still talk from a position of like losing. They're talking about selling resources. Like, man, we should get together and we should sell our minerals. Why don't you get together and refine your minerals, moron? Why don't you add value? Why don't you vertically integrate? They can't even conceive that process of the supply chain yet. They're still just trying to figure out how they just come together and sell the goddamn shit as raw material. You know, most of chocolate's value gets created after you add value. It's nothing to pluck them off a goddamn tree, but it takes more time to process them, refine them, assemble them, and then package them, market them, branded them, and then retail them. So Africans need to start thinking from that. And guess what? It's easier than ever before. You can go on the internet, go to AliExpress and order a salt processing plant just by a click of a button. It's ridiculous. Right. Chinese people will send Chinese technicians and engineers to create the assembly line for you. Teach all the Africans how to maintenance it and install it. All you have to do is pay for the Chinese person, the engineers, their flight ticket there and their accommodation and food. Then you go right back and you can have your own salt processing plant. But guess what Africans do? They just pick up the salt and sell it to somebody else who happens to be an Indian, who happens to be mostly Indians, really landslide the business in Africa across the board. Because Indians, poor Indians, not with connections, extremely rich in India, poor Indians go to Africa and kill commerce.
Why are you trying to start some smoke there, BMT? I see you being all slick right there, brother. What's going on? I mean, here's the thing. Like they said, Chinese, Russians have come down to Africa and they've donated or given money and loans to the African people for this, that, and the other thing, for those mineral rights and for land, and so that they can plant and actually grow food and send it back to China and all these things. Why haven't the African nations sent their best and brightest to these other countries to learn how to build these processing things, the machinery they need in order to process their own minerals, in order to produce a better product so they can sell it on the world market and get the best rate? Why don't they do that? But no, they've taken the easy way out. They'll let every other country come down there and get their rare earth metals, produce it there, and ship it back to their countries to do whatever. It doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you do that?
Shout out to Mr. Travolta in the building with the 250. I think that's the Filipino peso. It says pro-African here. Most FBAs haven't made the best of their opportunities of being born as U.S. citizens.
Get out of here.
They are still one of the lowest earning crime committing and fatherless groups in U.S. Damn, we just came through and snapped on y'all, boy. Wait a minute.
You can snap on
Well,
he's still down in the chat. He's still down in the chat. He ain't clicked on that link yet.
Yeah, hey, Travolta.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. We Black Americans are the most wealthiest blacks in the world.
Contradiction all day long.
You just don't even make any sense. Number one,
we have the most spending power in the world. You mean?
No. We have the most wealth. We have both. Africa is extremely poor. Okay, like bad. They down bad. All right. So I don't know how you come from there and be talking any stuff. You just be learning and figuring things out, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I was just born in this nation. But at the end of the day, stop tripping. Cut it out. Stop looking at the lowest.
Pull up on these FBAs, man. Pull up on
all I have to say is if Travolta ever lived in the United States and he's actually an African, that already tells you he couldn't have got it done in Africa. He had to come to the United States to get it done.
Wait, and let me do this. Hey, thanks also, too, for Elon Musk. Good looks. Y'all couldn't keep him neither. So at the end of the day, all the talent reigns in America. And, of course, Elon Musk is an African-American, so we winning.
Yeah.
Damn, Elon Musk is telling if you're African-American. That's some bullshit.
Oh, hold up. T-Mac got a response. T-Mac got a response. Read that super chat.
Hold on. T-Mac super chat says, Mr. Travolta is jealous of capping because Black Americans have a $1.7 trillion in spending and the most successful Blacks on the planet. We are minorities and still rock, but African let white minorities slap them.
Thank you, my Marine brother. There's another Marines just slapping people about the head and body. There's another one from the bleachers. We got a damn super chat war here. There we go.
Yeah, 250 Filipino Pen says, you guys on the panel are the exceptions and are doing well. Let's not pretend like you're the typical FBAs. Yes, you're the most wealthiest black simply because the dollar is strong.
And that is a problem. Why?
Yeah.
You have every ability in your country to make your currency as strong and be as productive, but you chose to leave your country and come over here and take advantages of what we have to offer here, and for the sweat and tears and blood that our ancestors dealt with this country.
So you're welcome.
So you're welcome again, Mr. Toole.
They be forgetting that we fought in every single war, bro. Like
fought in every single war, opened it up.
Before the inception of this country, we fought. The first man that died for the United States was Crispus Attucks.
Yeah, and also fought to end slavery across the world. So you're welcome for that also.
Yeah, we were in the Philippines. Buffalo soldiers, black soldiers were over in the Philippines fighting the Spanish.
And you did nothing. But okay. Mm-hmm. And you got vibranium underneath your big toe. Like, come on, man.
It actually be Wakanda if y'all woke the fuck up. For real.
You got vibranium. Listen. BM, this is the funny part. And I look, all right, cool. I join on blacks. We in America talking about we ain't got no resources, we ain't got no land. That's why we broke, but we got the money, yeah? And then Africans in Africa, they got the land and the minerals talking about we ain't got no money. They be in Africa like, man, we ain't got no money. They got gold, zinc, copper, cobalt underneath their big toe. Talking about
they got diamonds in their backyards. One of the biggest diamonds ever found was in Sierra Leone. It was just found in the backyard. One of the biggest rocks you could ever find. Just randomly sitting back there.
We ain't got no money, BMT. That's our problem. Why they got cobalt, copper, zinc, come on, uranium, like underneath their big toe. Talking about what they ain't and what they don't got. And then they want to get mad at, come on, man. Make it make sense. Bro, have you ever seen salt processing? Like salt processing is a long process, like processing salt, right? But there's a place in Africa where you go, all the African did was get on the boat,
put
his hand in the water and pull out loads of salt. Salt, everything, the resources is there. You just got to figure out how to add value.
Hey, bruh, you got to keep this super chat war going. T-Mac is firing back at Travolta, man. Come on. You slowing up. Come on, man. We got our Marine buddy in the chat.
Hold on, bro. I got to put a little positive for this too now. Ozzy, unfortunately, let's try to get the bad together. No reason we can't build African businesses infrastructure going forward.
You know, I respect Mr. Lindsay. You know, he still got his cape on and he's trying to save the world. You know what I'm saying? And I respect
he makes a good point, though, Roland.
Because once you go over to Africa, the Africans still try to take advantage of the Americans. Listen, Black Americans have gone over to Africa, tried to start business, and the Africans themselves have turned against the black men because of jealousy and done something to them. A lot of brothers have been turning up dead in Africa recently.
I seen the story. I don't know if it's a lie. I seen a story about that though. I did see a story.
All right,
man. Let's
be real.
Don't forget they sold you in the first place. Like I'm not going to go to no flights of fantasy. I ain't going to. No, it's just real. I'm not mad at them about it. It is what it is. History. People sold people. But what I'm also saying is you never came back and spent the block for anybody. I can't do it. The Jews created a big law where they said you can come and repatriate. It's enshrined in the Constitution, not no little one-off program in Ghana. You go to Poland, it's the same thing. They lost Polish people in the war with Russia, but they have one where you can come back and get lineage and citizenship because you're of origin of Poland. Africa hasn't done it. They have the power. They have the constitutional right. It doesn't cost them much to do that for Africans across the diaspora. Damn us in the United States. What about the majority of Africans that's in South America and they don't got no money and they broke too? Most of Black Africans are in South America. You don't see them extending no olive branch, but they'll extend it to you in America because you got a bag. But at the same time, when you come in, they the African.
Bingo. Wait, where's my sound effect? Where's my sound effect? Wait a minute. Wait. Where's it?
You got to put your sound effects on that one, bro.
There you go.
Is that it? No, we need some gunshots or something, bro.
Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I got.
Yeah, a little ding ding for you. Hold on.
I got some punches here. We throwing punches. We throwing blows up in here.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's much better. Shout out to my man T-Mac, Super Chat, man. That was a big point you made, Oscar. That was a real big point. And I feel a certain way because I've seen it with my own two eyes, how the brothers are struggling in South America. And you're absolutely right. They're blue, black, and no olive branch was sent out to them at all as far as they want us to come back to spend our money. You're absolutely right about that.
And that's why I said it was a catch-22 for the one African nation that offered our citizenship for just going over there. It was because they're trying to recapture the American dollar. They ain't stupid.
Damn, Ronan. God damn it. You know, shout out to T-Mac, Super Chat, man. Before God over strong, blacks built the foundation of this country. Look at the Black American parents compared to Africans. I have 3 invention patents alone. Get the hell out of here, Travolta. Travolta coming back with it, though.
He got another one.
With 125 peso, Filipino peso. Dude, I'm not in the U.S., so please don't flatter yourself. Refute my point. FBAs equals high crime rate, lowest income, most violence. Refute that. T-Mac, you want to step in? Let me see what this single. I mean, it is pretty high. But what's the single parent rate? 70%.
But see, this is the funny part.
Here's the thing: you got to flip it back to Africa. They got a high single rate parent rate too. So every point you're making, it's going over in Africa the same thing.
Watch this. Go ahead. Watch this. This is the funny part. I used to always say this to people too, because the money thing and the resource things just don't add up. But let me say this about fatherlessness. Families is a cornerstone. Africa got good families, but they're broke. What happened to families being the cornerstone? So even with your fathers, I'm not even going to say that. Let's go with your point. You got fathers, right? You got low crime rate. That's a cap because most of the 5 dangerous cities, it's in South Africa. But let's continue. You got no crime rate. Okay, let's say the rest of Africa. And you got fathers, but you're all are broke and poor with no power, no army. If anybody wanted to press up against you, they could just take your whole land if they wanted to. Let's be real in reality. And it's not because I'm against Africa.
They have armies, they just don't have militaries, right? Like they have armies.
They got armies, but that's a joke thing, right? Like the armies can't even provide their own ammunitions. They don't produce armaments. Like somebody else has to put them on, like Russia or China, and give them the equipment to fight. Other than that, they got arrows and slingshots. But when we're talking about, we went back, and that's just facts. That's just facts. It's not even like being mean and evil. It's just they don't have the production to produce ammunition and the things that it takes to launch a warfare. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at you guys. I'm just telling you the truth because nobody's giving you that. They're trying to tell you because you got families and because you know culture and you know how to dance and you know how to wear certain gowns and outfits, that's going to give you power in the world. And that's far from the truth. You still need to go out here and be industrialist and clever. Japan has 0 resources and they're one of the richest nations in the country. It's because of the cultivation, the creativity, the intelligence. Acquire it and get it, please.
And by the way, for all the Africans and all the other nations that come here and get their education and start making money, why the fuck don't y'all go back and fix your shit? Why do y'all stay? If you're so proud of your nations, you want to wave your flags in Americans' faces while you're here, why aren't you making your incomes? Why aren't you going back and helping to fix your individual countries? Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
I think they do it in like an individual sense.
No, that's not.
Meaning like they buy a house or they buy land, but as far as just.
But that's for their own benefit. They ain't fixing their whole fucking country. But you have the right to comment on ours. Isn't that nice? But if you went over to Africa and you tried to comment on their fucking way of life, their government, they'll say, well, you have no reason to speak on our stuff here. But you can come over here and speak freely all you want. Yeah. And you're welcome for that. Both me and Obstacles, we kind of contributed to your right to do that. So
yeah, you're welcome.
Again, you're welcome.
The number 1 African strongest military is Egypt. You got number 2, Algeria. Number 3, South Africa. Number 4 is Nigeria. So
proven by what, though? For real? Proven by what? When's the last World War that
Egypt somebody got to be number 1. Somebody got to be number 1. But in the top 2,
it's
we're
just
not even black African. It was Arab African, right?
I was about to say, what World War did those guys fight in? I'm just saying as you're naming them.
The first two were Northern African, right? So Arab.
Egypt and Nigeria, yes.
Which if you ask those people, they'll say, I'm not African in any shape, form, or fashion.
They're white.
So Exactly. And they'll say it themselves. They're like, I'm not a part of them dang black Africans.
They're even designated as white when they come to the United States. So they're not even given an ethnic code. They're given white.
Damn.
And they dang sure don't want it. And so at the end of the day, so it's a two-way street. And so there you go. And then somebody got to be strong. I get it. But yeah, Nigerian ain't fighting nobody. In Ethiopia, stop playing. That's child's play.
Yeah, Angola, you got Morocco, Democratic Republic of Congo.
Come on, now they just naming things because they got to, right?
Tunisia,
it's got to be a 10
Sudan. So that's the top 10.
Who be quivering in the boots like, man, Congo coming over the hill. Nobody cares, bro.
I thought Kenya would be there most definitely.
Oh, what?
Hell nah. Kenya light and
wait. Somebody just said Nigerians are the most wealthiest people in the, man, get out of here with y'all scamming asses.
Come on,
your major industry.
All Nigerians are not scammers, brother. Come on now, Ronan.
Yeah, bro.
Where's your military? Nigeria.
It's number 4 in Africa.
Wow, number 4.
Yeah,
if they're the best and the richest, why aren't they number 1? Why aren't they number 1? Why aren't they investing in their own securities?
BMT, they have to name somebody, right? So it don't matter if they got slingshots or ropes. They got to name, 1 through 10.
Out of the group of losers, you got to name one of the losers number 1 and then rank them down. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Will Thrill, $9 from Super Chat, man. I really appreciate that. It says, Ronan, you are 100% correct.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Travolta again with a 250 Filipino peso says, I'm not saying Africa is perfect or better. FBAs are not better than Africans. You were born in the greatest country in the world.
I hear hateration.
But most don't make the most of opportunities. Talk about the FBAs.
Wait, hold on.
I got a soundbite for him. Hold on. I got a soundbite for him. Hold on.
He's motherfucking peanut butter and jealous. These fuckers hate us because they ain't us.
That's exactly why he's saying all that. He hates us because he can't be us.
I give me some sound effects, man. Shout out to my man T-Mac Super Chat says, look at the CDC that say black men are the best parents. I meant to say patents in my last Super Chat. I think we caught that. We know you said
yeah, we said we saw that. Congratulations on the patents though. God dang.
How that last comment sound like a politician? I ain't saying they better or worse. Then what the hell you saying then? That don't even make any sense. I'm not saying they better or worse. I'm just saying, and then to see what they said. Like, come on, man.
Exactly, Mr. Will.
Stand on what you say. That's cool. See, that's that African stuff. He can't stand on nothing.
Passive fucking aggressive. That's what they are. Passive aggressive.
Who better?
Yes, they don't know how to stand on shit, bro.
And I got love for him, but I'm just
a
tough love.
Man. Hold on, let me bring my man Philippe Lindsay in. He can bring some.
Oh shit! Here comes Black Man Travels with the Machete Boys. By the way, we did an FBA versus immigrant show on Lions Den last Friday, so it was pretty fun.
You talking about Black Men Travels?
Black Man Travels.
Yeah, Black Man Travels.
Yeah. Your alter ego.
I don't know through the positive chat, man. The Egyptians' white mindset was influenced by Western Europe and North America. Okay. Where you at, Black Man Travels? Pull up, man. It's been a minute, man. Pull up, Black Man.
Yeah, man. We got the stream live. Yeah,
I was about to say, what do you mean by? Yeah, I was going to say, what do you mean by like the white mindset of the Egyptians?
Hello, what's going on?
Hey, brother, how you doing, man? How you doing?
Please bring some peace into this chat.
No, what's going on? I know you one of us. You one of us. I know you trying to stay facts and you trying to stay the level peacekeeper. You a peacekeeper. You like NATO. Philippe is NATO. He's just trying to be level-headed and see. We're Marines. We're aggressive. We're Marines. We just fuck all that.
Yeah, and these brothers know I love them both. You know, it didn't like that. It didn't like that. But you know, the goal is for all of us to bag up. You know, and I'm not going to say anything that these brothers have said necessarily about the African countries are incorrect. But the fact of the matter is, we need a circular economy. If I'm looking at, let's just say, the Indian Americans this last election, because this is the topic, right? The Indian Americans had the election on lock. Regardless of who won, they won. Because on the one side, they had Kamala, who was half Indian. And then on the other side, they had the VP's wife, who's full Indian. So, so whoever won, they were set, and they already had their agenda in place. They've got their gas stations. They've got their motels. They've got their small businesses, and they know what they want. They got their agenda ready to go. Regardless of who won, they won. They out celebrating no matter what, right? If Kamala had won, they would have been like, yeah, we got access to the White House. Now they have quasi access through the VP. Either way, this is the way we got to move, and we're just not moving that way. So that's why I came up was to say, look,
hey, you right about that though.
Listen,
and on the down low, they're on the moon again. Hello, I mean, for the first time they're on the moon, but there's a whole thing going on the moon right now that India is not even talking. Y'all don't even know. Y'all ain't even thinking about that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Look, the reality of it is, and Ronan put it down on this. If Congo right now said we're cutting off the coltan and the cobalt, stuff would move for Black Americans, period, because they can't build one cell phone without coltan and cobalt. But the fact is that we aren't on the same economic page working together business-wise, so we don't have that African country or countries at our back when we come with our agenda. Our banks, we got 28 Black American banks. I'm originally from Chicago, live in LA now. All the Black banks in Chicago closed. We don't have one now. Now, the Bank of Ghana came in and tried to save the last one, and then the SEC got involved with it, and it's been in chaos. I think they reopened now, but it's weakened. And so what I came up to say is, look, bro, if we get on the same page and get a circular economy going, it's good for all of us. We all raise our level, you know. So yeah, I'm not going to tell these brothers they're wrong, right? We got to bag up. We can elevate. We can elevate.
Unfortunately, Philippine, that's why I'm saying you have your cape on still. Once Americans get over there and we try to do that and stabilize their economy, there's always one person who's got to be corrupt in that government. And then they that greed sets in and they want to take it all for themselves.
Let me catch this super chat real quick. First, I want to say we should want to invest into Africa as Black. Shout out to Baby Blue 7 Phoenix. And I got my man, Mr. Travolta, once again, 250 Filipino pesos, says, still haven't addressed my points. Like women, you attack me, not my arguments. FBA equals high crime rate, lowest income, 75% followers. The feminine behavior is a sign of its powerlessness. Damn.
we got to stop that. We got to stop doing that. It's just like
hilarious.
It's like Mad Rapper. You know, we can't have the mad rappers doing all that. We're not gonna make any money like that, bro.
So man, he says we fought the fight to allow Africans to immigrate to the USA, yet don't get citizenship in Africa. We are not divisive, but we won't be disrespected in our country.
And that's the funny part. We're only trying to point out the realistic factors. Everything I said.
You was kind of hard earlier now, brother. You the one started all this.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I did, because life is hard. It's not soft. Now, you could go to somebody else who gives Africans the story of, hey, man, you got population growth. Hey, man, if you just do this. But I come from clandestine operations. I know how this game is really played beyond the UN table. So I'm telling you, you can get popped in the mouth and nobody cares. Like, you want power, you're going to have to take it. It's not given. It's not, if you have fathers in the household, you're winning. It's none of that. You have to go out here and be industrialist. You have to be clever. You have to play clandestine operations. You have to be playing one guy where he thinks you're on his team. It's called a double agent. And then you're really on the other team getting certain types of privileges and backdoor benefits from this type of country. This is the game. It's dirty. It's monotonous. It's soft power. You got hard power. This is what it is. And when I'm telling you and I'm slapping you in the face with this information saying you're losing, you're supposed to be in your position because you haven't stopped everybody else from being able to overpower you. That's the reality. You want to go out here and play fantasies, you'll end up getting Gaddafi talking about, hey, all I got to do is say you can't get Kobo and I'm going to blast you. I'm going to send the agents in. I'm going to send the economic hitmans after they fail, or if they succeed, then I'm going to send in my military, but not even just the Marines. I'll send in the PMCs to come and light your tail up. So if you want to, I will pay your opponent that lives in Africa that look like you, that you think is your friend, and he'll black messiah you and put poison in your stuff at night. But what I'm just trying to tell you is this: the world is hard.
All I'm saying is, I'll match my passport up against your passport any day, and I guarantee you my passport trump your passport anytime. You guys have passports that are not respected. And most of these countries, y'all could get abused and everything else, and your passport means nothing to a lot of these nations.
You guys are going ham, man. Come on.
What you mean? That's the truth.
Shout out to Black Folk, Phoenix Mars. He says African.
Look at Poland. Look at Poland, the way they disrespected the Africans trying to get out of Ukraine. When the beginning of the Ukrainian war, they were trying to get on the train just like the white ladies were, and they were getting kicked off the goddamn train because their passports meant nothing to those Polish people and the Ukrainians while they were trying to get out of there, even though that war had nothing to do with them.
What if FBA is Africans united and built together? See, me and my man Felipe, we peaceful brothers. We trying to get this thing together.
Again, you have peaceful brothers and you have brothers that are about getting theirs and getting in it. And that's okay. We all align and we have our strengths. Mm-hmm. Everybody's not supposed to be the same.
Well, let me say this, that what they are saying, but being both obstacles and Ronan, that's not wrong. It's just the issue is that the Africans have a specific set of problems, which they correctly identified, and they, in many cases, have not risen to the challenge, which is to create the kind of pressure from the bottom to remove these puppet people that are running their countries in many cases. And the price of that from the 1960s to present has been 167 coups throughout the continent. So it's not as if the countries have not tried, but the result has been the majority have failed. And so the points that obstacles and Ronan are bringing up are not wrong points, but the secret sauce is that the Africans have not made the kind of outreach to their diaspora, namely being us and the Caribbeans and the Afro-Latinos, that they needed to economically. Now, that being said, I've had several friends of mine that have gone to the continent in the last couple of years and opened up businesses, and that they're trying to help, right? We're trying to get that economy up, but there are issues. For example, if you say, why haven't they been able to do an infrastructure build? Well, if you buck the cheap raw material system, then the West, specifically the US, can cut you off the SWIFT system. You get cut off of SWIFT, you can't get money into your banks, you can't do exchange, you can't do anything. You're stuck, right? Zimbabwe just went to a gold standard with their currency. The stock market started shorting gold. So their currency was hardening. And then they were like, oh, I see. So you're going to try to harden up your currency. Well, we're going to short gold a little bit. See how that, and it shook the confidence of the rising Zimbabwe currency. We've got structural problems why we're in the situation we're in. But I want to throw this to Black America, because the reality of it is we are not our grandparents or not our parents in terms of our economic productivity. There's a small cadre of us that are doing extremely well. But there is a larger cadre of us that really is on the precipice of disaster. And so the success that we're having is masking what's going up under the surface. And it is my view that the best way to try to strengthen ourselves and the Africans is to try to economically work together to build the kind of infrastructure that we lack.
Because I agree.
Goddamn cape on at the very end. You had to put that cape back on.
Listen, they just had a study just come out, and they said that 80% of Americans can't even put their hands on $5,000.
That's real talk.
So who the heck are you going to be lining in? You already got issues. You need to fix you. That's why I say make Americans great. I don't talk about America. You got to fix you. Half of you guys have poor financial habits. You have issues yourself. It's your problem. Stop trying to blame the world for something that you won't do for yourself. Time is now easier than it's ever been to build wealth, to accumulate some type of money. You live longer. You have more access to information, but you're still dumb as box.
Buy a life insurance policy. It's the quickest transfer of wealth per generation. And I sell life insurance policies all day long. But again, it's the fastest way to make your family a legacy wealthy.
But even flights in a fantasy about
all of that's right.
But y'all have fantasies about that. 70% of generational wealth doesn't succeed. So we go into. Oh, go ahead.
My bad. Let me just catch the super chat.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a point. I'm gonna refute your point just in one moment. Mr. Travolta with 125 Filipino peso once again says FBA think that all blacks are jealous of them. It's very strange. I have pointed out problems in the FBA community. It does not mean I'm jealous. All right. W.M. Mustafa says Africa is in a better situation than FBA because they can survive without the white man. I don't think we can. Mustafa, that was a big one. You might want to pull up, Mustafa. That was a big one. Now, what I want to say real quick, I understand what Felipe is saying, basically, as a group, not as in, because you're talking about it on an individual level. I'm talking about as a group. It's in our best interest to try to control some form of industry so we can have some type of direct influence on American political infrastructure. What I mean by that is if we can team up with Africa somewhere and say we take over the rubber industry. I think you mentioned chocolate, but we take over the rubber industry and we control 35% of the market, right? Now we can kind of work together and we have some type of leverage to go to the politicians and say, hey, if you don't give us what we want, then we're gonna stop giving you the rubber or tax the rubber so high that it's not even going to be good for you guys. That's what Felipe is trying to say, that we need some form of collective control, which means we got to get together and connect with Africans that have the resources.
He named it Congo.
I get it.
Get Cobalt. Get Congo, and you got them. That's technology in itself.
Congo and Nigeria.
Black Americans should be being the middleman to Africa.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. You about to get Marcus Garvey. You about to get Marcus Garvey. He did that. But okay, go do it. You know what? This is I'm not even against you like that.
Go do it. We don't
yes, you do. You have many choices. Now you're sounding like a slave. You got a choice.
If we remain as individuals, bro, we have no power.
You think the white man's your enemy.
Here's the biggest choice we have.
I don't think the white man's my enemy. So
the biggest choice we have is to breed them out. The quicker you can breed them out, the quicker we win.
Hold on, listen. Nobody ever said the white man's the enemy. We're taking it to the other level. We're just saying.
No. I was talking about the guy. You can't survive without the white man. Like, bro, I serve with the white man. I built the country of America with the white man. See, I'm not like that. I'm not like just because my skin's black, that means I should align with these people. Go ahead.
Y'all on the military level, we're talking about economics right now, brother. We're not talking about.
I'm talking about both. What you mean?
I'm talking about move around. Too. I got money.
We can move around, bro. I'm talking about financial and economic. Come on, bro.
Economic strength.
What I'm saying,
whether we want to admit to it or not, we do not have it as a collective in Black America.
I don't care about that. I can't do nothing about that. I can't stop all y'all Negroes from buying Jordans. That's y'all thing.
What we're saying is that we can do something about it.
You can. That's what I'm saying. Do y'all. I hope y'all the best. Good luck, my brother. But I'm not going to fight some flames to see what you.
Until Africa fix Africa, ain't no American going to go over there and fix it.
You want me to go fix you, and you ain't fixing you.
Hold on for a second. Let me just throw a couple of things out there.
Before you start, Philippe,
he's falling back on us.
I want you to speak on it real quick. Shout out to T-Mac with 5 super chats. I do not have smoke for Africans. My small business donated thousands to villages in Togo to provide clean water and power. What has Mr. Travolta done?
Semper Fi. Look at that.
Shadow Will Thrill says, Donna says, debt kills wealth growth and creates bad credit. All right, go ahead, Felipe.
Yeah, all I was going to say is that, look, there have been opportunities right from the jump. Let's just take somebody we know, Kanye. So when Kanye had the disastrous fallout with Adidas and his backers, he lost 1.3 billion over a weekend. If Kanye had signed which you have this with Amazon now, they have generic brands. If he had developed a generic shoe they had a company in Nigeria called Jumia, they're probably going to be swallowed up by Amazon that's going into South Africa. But if he had done a generic Yeezy shoe with Jumia for the Africans, with his brand association just right there, he could have built a multi-billion-dollar company. Now, he wasn't thinking that way. He was trying to get back with the Europeans and Americans, and he's still trying to do that. I think he finally moved to China now, and he could have done a lot of different things. But the point was the opportunity. Well, I can't read what that says.
Akon. I'm just going to bring up the name.
Yeah.
What about it? Said the same thing. Look at Akon's attempt at trying to do something in Africa. Failed.
And I think
you mean a bond market, and the reality of it is that you don't have the kind of tax collection to create bonds that are strong in these countries. That they are not paying taxes in the way that they need to be able to self-finance. That's part of the problem. They don't have, what you need is essentially regional currencies for the 5 different regions of Africa that are hardened. So you need a currency for West Africa, currency for East Africa, a currency. They're trying to develop it in Southeast Africa, where Kenya is. You need a currency for Southern Africa. So if you did that and you hardened them by backing them with your resources, you could do something. You could create a bond market, and Black Americans in the diaspora could invest in that. But
I think it's nice. I think
that would be a great idea.
No, keep going.
Consistent with it. That's a great idea.
Yeah, we on the blue side over here, Optimus. We on the blue side over here.
No, I dig it. I dig it. I love it. Hey, look. I'm going to be a lender too, so it don't matter. But your capital investment has to make sense. So go build it. Stop talking about it. I've been with Black folks, especially the Pan-African space, for eons. They be talking all types of, if we get together. If we get together and we build Wakanda and we connect vibranium with titanium, it's nice. I got y'all. Go do it. Stop capping. Stop talking. Go do it.
Well,
unlike most of y'all, I've been in the trenches of Africa and building it. I used to own a factory in Kenya. So at the end of the day, I've been out here in the battlefield, not just talking on the YouTube streets, talking about woulda, coulda, shoulda. But what I would say is it's not like I'm against any of it. Do that. I think even what he just said about Kanye and what he would have did, I would have said a better play would have been Kanye. And again, I'm quarterbacking his situation. I don't know all the particulars, so I really can't speak to it. But what I would say is if Kanye would have took his company public instead of a private entity, that would have been an added value. So instead of doing a joint venture with the Gap and increasing their stock portfolio by 20%, he would have been able to increase his own company by 20% just by going to an IPO. And then after that point, he would have had JP Morgan institutional money invested so much in the Yeezy brand. Then Yeezy could have did some joint ventures with Africa, because at that point, people's pensions, the 401k and institution money is so much tied into the company, they can't take that loss. So they would have been forced to do whatever deal Kanye would have been, or they would have tried to oust him as the CEO. But either way, he would have been in a stronger bargaining position. So this is what I'm saying. Black folks across the board need to become financially literate, not only just the top, because it takes the bottom to support them in a financially literate way to understand I'm going to redirect my capital from Ford trucks to a company that actually puts companies and businesses and factories within places of my interest. And so you have to vote not only just politically, but vote with your dollar. It's easier to preach than the actual reach. And so it's easier for people to say what they would have could have did.
He just rhymed that shit.
Rhyming and shit. Now, come on,
that
that's
shit.
not right. That's not fair. You can't be rhyming and shit. That wasn't part of the debate. You shouldn't no rhyming now. You can't be hitting lyrics on us now. Hey, Mr. Vulture with the 125. He says, still waiting on them to address my points. The following is strong on this panel. FBA equals high crime, low income, 75% fatherless discussed. Do any one of you gentlemen want to discuss this? All right. He keeps fanning.
Well, but it seems like he's going at the bottom feeder aspect, you know, the lowest aspect of the culture. And you know, look, every community that is African, whether they be in the Caribbean or in North America or South America, we have challenges. We have challenges on the continent. So nobody is going to say, oh, look, there isn't a problem there. There is. But is that's not on black people. White people have fatherless issues and everything else. It's not just on us. Don't throw that just at us. It ain't just on us. It's a problem. It's a problem for Americans in general. But here's the thing. That's a pointless kind of dusty, you know, kind of, we're not getting anywhere with that. What obstacles just laid out. Look, if we put our brains together, we can do something. You know, just like he did stuff in the continent, I did this work in Asia. Part of the issue that you have as well is that you have restrictions, and these guys are ex-military guys, they know this, about through the State Department, the kind of technology that you can transfer. I had a client who had developed these trailers that would go out to rural areas through satellite, and they could broadcast education, and then they had a medical trailer so that they could do surgeries and so on in rural areas in Africa. They started in Uganda. When they tried to expand to other parts of Africa, the U.S. State Department came in and said, we're not going to allow you to do the technology transfer. That there are issues with doing this. So, I mean, look, that doesn't stop Africans from developing a culture both in the diaspora and on the continent to reverse engineer technology. And there are
China does that.
China does it a lot, but so does Vietnam. And I'm going to throw on this cap. When I was a kid, as I said, I'm from Chicago. The black hair care industry was a huge industry coming out of Chicago. Okay, but what happened to it? What happened to it was that both South Korea and Vietnam got into the beauty products industry and started subsidizing their products. Then they signed free trade agreements with the United States and moved the black companies out of their own industries because they could not compete with nation states subsidizing product. That is just a reality. And so I raise that to say there is no reason at this point why Black American hair care products cannot source and develop in Nigeria. There's no reason. And for the Nigerian government to subsidize those products, we know our hair best. We can't.
There is one hesitation there.
Okay, go ahead.
They don't grow long, straight hair. Asians, Indians do, and that's where they get their hair from. So stop it.
I thought you talking about weed. I thought you talking about cream.
They ain't gonna get their hair and shit. They gotta get that from Africa. I mean, they gotta get that from India and the Asian states where they shave their hair because of religious rights. Okay,
exactly. That's where they get it from. That's where they get it from.
Yeah,
so they shave their hair.
And by the way, if you think about it, when they shave their head, they're actually transferring all the evil spirits into their hair, and that's why they shave it off. Yep. So when these black women put these hairs in their head, they're actually getting all the evil spirits out of their hair into their bodies. That's what they're praying while they're getting their hair shaved to transfer all that evil stuff into and the negative energy into their hair. But they wash it. Yeah, they wash out all those evil spirits. Yes, okay.
They be going like this.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah.
All right, shout out my man T-Mac, the $5 super chat says, Mr. Vulture mentions crime. Look up South Africa and see how many cities show up in the top 10.
Top 10, yeah. About 5. 5 cities.
Right. We got Mr. Vulture again. Once again, man, shout out to you once again for the super chat. He says, the old head on the panel is right. Come on, Javon.
Damn, why you gotta call Philippines like that, man? Come on, stop it.
The main problem.
I think we're the same age. How old are you, Philippines?
54.
I'm 57. I'm older than you.
The main problem with Africa is the corruption of their leaders, and the main problem with FBAs is their victim mindset and not taking advantage of their opportunities. You shaking your head like you agree with them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree also too, but I would add also victim mindset for Africans too. They definitely got victim mindset. They got opportunities too. So it goes both ways. I think it applies. Yeah, cool.
Obstacles.
You think it's just a one way?
I remember when you were doing stuff in that. I remember seeing you talk about maybe it was the place in Kenya or where. I remember it. Listen, we have all the talent, we have all the know-how. If we put ourselves together and put some capital behind it, we can make big things happen, bro. And there are brothers like Obstacles, like Ronan, that are making stuff happen, bro. I've done it myself. So it's just that we can't be crapping on each other. Look, the fallback position for these other groups is their home countries, bro. That what Chinatowns are worldwide are wholesale distribution centers for finished product from Hong Kong, mainland China, Macau, and Taiwan. There's no reason why we can't make our neighborhoods distribution centers for finished goods coming out of Africa. The hair care thing is a simple one. This wig and weave thing, that's it. Listen, most of the hair straighteners that are used in African countries, particularly Nigeria, were developed in Black America. They're using our hair care products. It's just that now it's gone to an extreme where we don't even want our hair straightened. We want somebody else's hair. That's extreme, bro. I don't know how that became a thing, but it is. I'm just saying.
You saying we really talking about the women.
Yeah. Their items are white women. Yeah, but here's the thing: black women idolize white women's hair. I don't get that.
We got to separate it because also we're them, but we've also been saying don't do that. So for the most part. So, but again, I'm not even going to play that. Maybe it's an economy. We build economy, we make money off it. All right, cool. But at the end of the day, I know it might sound harsh, but what I'm saying is it's a two-way street. You know, you can't say Americans have victim mindset. Africans have it too, and it's pretty bad. The only thing I'm saying is the truth and reality, and it's harsh and it cuts deep, but it's the reality. For me to say you can't create industry, you haven't created it. You're too weak in the knees when it comes to this. And you'd be like, man, you must hate us. Then we can't have a conversation, bro, if I can't just say what it is, right? It's not like I'm hands off across the board, but you have to do for yourself. I can't help you if you don't want to be saved. You have to save yourself. You have to empower yourself. This is inspiring news. You don't have to wait for obstacles, the opportunity to come along and save your village. You can start saving your village now in a real way. Politicians are simple. The moment you start making moves, they start smiling and kissing you and starting to want to be a part of you. I know about it because once I went to Africa, they started smiling and doing whatever I needed to do because I was the one coming with a solution, not a problem. Stop handing politicians problems and start handing them solutions, and they'll start being your best friend because they don't know how to solve the problems in Africa. They don't know how to build factories. They don't know how to build homes. They just legislate. You get? So once you start taking control of your life, take control of your household first, then you guys can start ruling your country and the world in itself. But you got to rule yourself. That's all I'm saying.
All right, good point. Oscar, I want to welcome to the show Thomas Brown in the building. What up, man?
What's up, man? You know I'm a businessman, so I've been watching this a little bit, and I've just been waiting. I came in late, so you guys might have talked about this, but I haven't heard anything about the business acumen education because that crosses all borders and everywhere that you go. So I don't know if you guys brought this up, but like you guys know, I'm in Albania right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know you're in Europe, definitely.
So one of the biggest things that I've noticed here is it seems like coming from America, growing up in America, we just kind of have business acumen and don't even realize that we do because it's so prevalent there. And so here, the stuff that I'm running into, Albania is in that sweet spot right now where all of the opportunities we saw in America that we kind of wished we could have done and we didn't miss, you could do them in Albania right now. So that's why you guys know I've been staying here forever. I keep seeing these things. But when we talk about Africa and these other places, there's a few guys that I mentor from Africa, and they have zero business understanding, business acumen, none. So I almost wonder if it's just an education issue in general. You know, I have a guy that's in Malaysia now, but he's from Nigeria, and he's got his hand in the real estate game really good over there, because I don't know if you've been to KL, but they've got amazing sky rises everywhere. And he doesn't understand how to harness that. Like, I try to coach him through all of that, and I'm blown away at how much he does not know. He knows nothing. So I'm wondering if our people, even, you remember a while ago when you and I were doing that series called Money Mondays?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What I never shared with you was the people that reached out for help from me made me feel like I didn't even know if I could help my brothers. The level of incompetence, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, just as in an objective way.
It is what it is, bro. You can't sugarcoat things. Sometimes we have to slap our people awake because we coddle them too much.
It was deeper than the business understanding. You know, some of them, what they wanted to do, and they wanted to build these businesses, and I had asked them, you know, what kind of capital do you have for yourself? Some of them, most of them had $0. Zero. That blew my mind. And they were almost wanting me to build it for them, for me to build the wealth, and for them to have the money. And I just said, I can't do that for you. That blows my mind. So what do you guys
sound about right?
What do you guys think can be done? I mean, I honestly think like maybe if this panel came together and put together like an education business acumen program might be a good thing.
Look,
to be honest,
I think what you just said, Thomas. No, go ahead, Philip. I've been talking a lot. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, brother. We'll share. So I'll just say my little thing and give it to obstacles. That we need incubators, bro. And incubators don't necessarily have to be in a location. They can also be online. I've thought about trying to do some of that myself. The problem is, bro, the level, as you said, Thomas, and let me just say, all of these brothers that are up here, I respect you all and are really professional people. And I want to say I respect you guys. That the levels vary so much of what people's experiences are. And so that's where we run into trouble. Just as you said, Thomas, is that there are some people that have done what I would consider to be hustle businesses, but they were really hustles. They were not true businesses. And then you have some people that have done them, but they have not had success because of this problem or that problem, a flaw that they have. Right? So I do think, and this is what I was trying to encourage from the panel, I agree with the critical approach of, listen, if you've got a losing ball club, you have a culture of losing, right? And the team is losing because we've allowed certain toxic things to get into the culture. So the first thing you got to do is you got to have Thomas come up and say, look, it's this, and this. We have to have that as a baseline of the ethics and culture of the incubator and the business. If you don't want to do that, you can't be on our team. And to set that as a standard, I'll wrap up with this. When I was just talking to my cousin, I have a cousin that lives in Japan, and one of my good friends who's Nigerian. And one of the things that frustrates the hell out of me, I'm a professional person, I'm a lawyer, is the hookup culture that has existed in Black America for professional services, where, I wind up doing a lot of free work for friends and other fellow Black people because they don't want to pay what it costs to do the work. Kind of like what Thomas is saying, where you show up, you want to start a business, and you come with zero. Look, that is unacceptable, and people have to tell people, listen, I have bills just like you have bills, and this isn't a charity. This is
not even about the bills. It's that they're not invested in themselves, nothing at all.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I'll
in themselves or their education. That's what blew me away. So I tried to dig under it a little bit and say, what's the issue? And it seems like I didn't even like finding this out. They cared more about making money to look like they had bitches or to get girls than to have wealth, than to be able to take care of themselves, than to be able to be an example to their posterity. That blew me away. And I mean, you can see in groups sometimes. I'm notorious for calling them out for their fake pictures of some girl that they say they got with, but they're never in the picture. I don't understand what that is in our culture. I don't understand how those things are stronger than just taking care of yourself. I don't understand that part. That part, maybe you guys can educate me on, but that seems to be more powerful.
Yeah, welcome to the masses. That would be one of the things that they have on their priority list, and I get that. What I would say is definitely shout outs to your message, because I think at the same time, there's a purpose for soft and hard messages. And so mine's might be hard and yours delivered. We need to do it anyway. People receive different messages for different reasons. So I'm hardcore. You could come the way you came, and we just need to have the conversation. So that's the good part, right? So I'm with it. As far as that, I kind of understand what you're saying. I tell people about him being an investor. But the biggest problem I face is I wish I could be in the numbers, going over the numbers with them, but it's mostly the mindset. I'm always arguing some point about why it ain't possible. Why, if they filled out the loan, the white man would come from the sky and stop them. Why, if they got this wouldn't happen. Or I don't know what I'm talking about because I got money, but I didn't have it at the beginning, but they ignore that. And so there's all these myths and misunderstandings. And then we kind of lean on excuses like, oh, well, I don't know. I don't have experience. I don't have experience with being an industrial real estate investor. But you know what happened? I had a burning desire to reach beyond my station and not be like my mom receiving welfare programs. So with the internet, the information of things, I could learn anything. There's no reason why I don't know about wealth. I could just Google forms of wealth and listen to massive amounts of people flood me with information and chop it and do some due diligence on my own. That was never available for my grandma and my great-grandfather, so I don't fault them for not being extremely wealthy. But today is the time, and it's actually dope for Black people. The general white population is underperforming. They don't even know what to do. They're slacking in their game. So there's so much room for you guys to do good for yourself, but it's all about you just taking on you. It's not about Africa. It's not about the world. It's about you conquering your own self-doubt, your own lack of confidence, thinking that you could do anything. The world's after you. White people do it too. They blame the Illuminati, the Rothschild, the New World Order, the pharmaceuticals. They blame everybody too. So stop blaming the world and start blaming yourself. Hold you accountable. And the moment you start doing it, I bet you'll get a return on investment. And you won't come to you asking you for money and handouts. I'll come to you with money already prepared.
Let me add to what you said.
Hold on. 1 second. Let me catch the super chat. Mr. Travolta with 250 Filipino peso says, what started me off was the fact that FBAs think that they're better than other Blacks. You are not. FBAs have a lot of problems too. You're not the typical FBAs. You're the exception.
Can I ask what they mean by FBAs?
Foundational Black Americans.
Financial Black Americans?
Foundational.
People who's descended from slavery in America.
Hey, dogs, whatever you want to,
That is more of a problem. Okay, so I have two stories then, because you guys just told me about that, what that is. So first, a lot of people ask me how I got my start. And I thought about it, and I was in Utah, of all places, and I used to drive down State Street, and I used to look at the big buildings, and I knew that somebody owned those, and that's all I needed to know. I knew that it was possible. I would just have to figure out the code. And it took me 20 years, but I did it. So, and I remember sitting in front of city council, pitching them on a 35-acre, $400 million bill. We had to raise the money, everything for it. And I didn't even know the words they were using. I was just playing along, typing out the words on my phone, and I would go home and Google that stuff and come back educated. I finally got smart enough to hire a guy that spoke the government language. But I've got a pushback on the FBAs, okay? Because I have some buddies in Las Vegas that own a cigar lounge. They used to own a travel cigar lounge. It's really cool. It's a trailer they pulled up. They pulled it up in Scottsdale when I was there, and it opens up to this dope cigar lounge. Now they have their own lounge. But there was a brother there that wanted to blame everything that went wrong on him being black. They wouldn't give him this because he's black. They wouldn't give him this. And I kept being like, bro, like, I understand, but I don't want to hear that forever. And it came to a head when we went to get Casa Fuentes. I don't know if any of you guys smoke cigars. You can only get that in Caesar's Palace, that one cigar. And so we were there. And he tries to hit on the waitress, and I could just see she was annoyed with people hollering at her all day. So she blew him off, and he was like, "It's because I'm black, huh?" And I was like, "Bro, I'm done with that, right? I'm done with that." He wanted to come at me about, "Don't you know your history? We had a disadvantage with money, blah, 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 blah." And I said, "You came at the wrong guy." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Where did you pick me up?" So at the time, I had helped fund a company called SetJet, which unfortunately is now bankrupt. And they did private jet shuttles. So I had shown up to Las Vegas on a private jet, and they had picked me up on the tarmac. So I was like, you can't talk to me about that. I'm not living that mold. But what I was able to push back and say to him was the Jews were discriminated, and they just chose to think differently. And they are almost one of the richest demographics in America. So I asked him, I said, do you want your child to learn what you're doing, and which is nothing but just talking about a disadvantage, or do you want them to take the action that they did and become something else? And he went on about the white man and all that. And I said, listen, if the white man has education on credit, then I'm going by hang out with the white man. If the Indians have education on agricultural, then I'm going to hang out with the Indians for that, if that's what I want to do. So I don't know what our people have with, like, I understand, like, supporting ourselves, but I think sometimes we're going too far and trying to prop ourselves up in areas that we need education. And I don't know why there's an issue with getting the education where the education's at. Do you guys think that I'm off on that? Because I've gotten my education from where I need to get it from, and it's given me a good life, a great life.
Most of us have, though. The ones that want it handed to them are the ones that don't seek it.
True.
They're the lazy ones. The ones that want it, like you, go after and get it. And the spinoff to this now is ChatGPT will set up a whole program for you to teach you everything you need to learn. All you have to do is set up a program to educate me on this. It will outline everything you need to reference in order to learn it now.
Good point.
That's just laziness and not wanting to seek it. It comes to there was a guy that was giving a speech at a graduation, and I'm sure everybody's heard this speech, where he said, for every generation you make the next generation soft. By the time we got to the millennials and one generation after that, it was they had their hands out. They didn't think they had to go out and get it anymore. We're just supposed to hand them their benefits and their wealth. Where I cut grass, I shoveled snow, I raked leaves, I did whatever I need to do. And all my mom had to do was say, I'll stop cutting your hair. Fuck, that's all I need to know. And I was 12.
Yeah, right.
You couldn't stop me after that. Once I started learning how to organize and make my own money and market myself, I owned blocks that I was cutting grass, raking leaves, shoveling snow. Nobody could walk on one of my blocks without them saying, hey, this young man is cutting our grass. He's raking our leaves. He's shoveling our snow. I worked all year round. I didn't have to do shit. 16 and I got a job. Didn't nobody have to tell me nothing.
You know what's crazy? That
you
that
had
might
a
be like
monopoly.
Yes.
You know what's crazy? That might be the only issue with, like, I'd say, aging gaps. Like, that the new generation is missing out on, basically how we grew up cutting grass. Do kids even cut grass anymore? Like, these kids be on TikTok and YouTube trying to get a check. By the time they like 11, 12, they already got 30,000 followers or something. Like, everything has changed now because of the internet. You know, like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Louise with $1 in Super Chat says, BMT Taddy guys speaking on the chat. All right, these are all the guys. You see their names right here. All right.
I don't necessarily think them doing the digital revolution is bad. I just think that they need the foundation also, if that makes sense. Kind of like any of us that played sports, we have to do the fundamentals, right? So I kind of think, yeah, my first successful business, I would say, I had a cell phone business way back. I don't know how old. I heard how old some of you guys are. Do you remember when VoiceStream was around? That's when I had my first cell phone business. That's a long ass time ago. And it was back when you could have all of them together. But then my first really successful long term was I had a pool cleaning business in Arizona. And I actually still to this day think that's a good business. I still, if I had a son and was in Arizona, he could make 6 figures doing that with 2 employees. Pretty easy.
Yeah. And then I also think too, I'm not extreme in it where everybody needs to be an entrepreneur. No, but everybody needs to be at least a basic retail investor. That's definitely for sure. And I mean it in a way where if you work in a W-2 and you're shelling at least 10 to 20, no, let's do it right, 20%, just in something, your 401k plus your savings account and et cetera, you'll be good. That's a winning strategy. And then you could later on go and do more if you want to. I always tell people forget it's the hustler, and then you elevate from a hustler to a CEO, the CEO to a shareholder, and then a shareholder to a family office. This is the evolution of economics if you're truly trying to reach high pinnacles. Now, you staying a CEO is not a bad thing, but net at the end of the day, you want to just kind of work your way up. And it's like we haven't been able to have financial talks and talk about financing because it's always so negative in general, right? And so even entrepreneurs need investors. Most startups are just family and friends, right? And so getting familiar about financial literacy and your actual capital and how to manage your own affairs is important. And so people just need that work up front. And then that would save them so much. And I think the more we have these conversations, the better. But you know how it is. If BMT put a drinks up and said, financial Mondays.
Nobody's showing up for that.
Monday.
It's not Jerry. It's not Jerry Springer. It's not the Jerry Springer show. It's not,
But
watch this.
Watch this. Asking me where the show went. So I think the people that wanted it, they would wait.
Yeah,
but to
no doubt.
Your point, my man, I mean, simple stuff like if I could try to get one thing through their head is if they understood like assets versus liabilities. I think people are very confused that their Dodge Charger is a humongous liability. That even like one home is a liability.
Not mine. It's a scat pack. It's a scat pack. It's a hell pack.
That's what they try to say.
Mine's is an investment. Yeah.
That's what they try to say.
It's got turbo twin engines. Yeah.
And they don't even realize like I have climbed to the top in America, and I left all that to travel. I left all that for culture. So there, I think BMT, these people that you got, man, I really think if you wanted to put together, maybe like an incubator, I think that's a little strong for the fundamentals, but maybe some sort of program, put it on the app. You know what I'm saying? Sell it for $12, $20, $50, whatever. Because that investment is going to give them education that they get to keep forever. It's almost like a B2B sale, right? Mm-hmm. Even like a reading list. I don't know why there's not a reading list, of like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Before he got crazy, he got really crazy recently. But I mean, like The Millionaire Next Door, those As a Man,
super crazy.
These are like fundamentals that get in your brain of how to look at money and how to see money work for you. Instead of you working for money, how to leverage time instead of trading time. All this stuff is taught in there. I think if we really want to do something, maybe do you have gamification on the app?
Yes, I do.
Man, maybe assign some books and gamify it. So people have badges for what they have learned. Because what's good for you is if you gamify that and these people get these badges for reading this certain books or literature, you're going to have a squad of people that you can work with later that has the education. You're going to see it by their badge. I think this is good all the way around. In general, I mean, if we can raise the sea, we can raise all the boats that are in it. Dude, for the people that have reached out to me continually, they really want the help. They really do want the help. So let's do it for those ones. There's always going to be Pookie and Ray that want to talk about they got this and they got that. We've been dealing with that forever. Just let them talk. Let them feel like they somebody. But I really like this idea of education in some way. I mean, the easiest way right now is just give them a reading list.
Okay, I got a super chat here by Quasi Samson with a 5 super chat says Jews and other groups should not be compared to Black people in general. They maintain a bond of love and respect first, then sharing money follows.
That's true. I'm here in Albania. The thing that really, really blew my mind in Albania is that money for the Albanians is they gather money for family and for togetherness, not to separate themselves, not to say that they ballin', not to say that they got more money than someone else. That was astonishing for me to see. What made me think about it is every date I've gone on, it is like a battle, like a WWE wrestling match just to pay. Like the girls are not having it, and they don't have money, and they're not having it. They want you to feel good for going out with them, even if there's a group. Even if there's a group, they're like diving over the table.
The DR, boy, you paying that bill, boy.
Not here, man. Even if there's a group of people, they are diving over the table, ripping the receipt out of each other's hands. Even the barbers, man, I have to like force them to take money. Once they like you, they see you as like a brother. And I'm telling you, me coming from the money ladder and winning that shit, coming here and seeing this has blown my mind. And on top of that, you know how I feel about these girls here. I've never seen girls this bad. And what I've always connected to girls that attractive is that they want money. Here, nope. My mind is just blown with that. Anyways, I saw you on.
Well, then, yeah. I put it in the back chat. So if you're down for it, we can make something and create it on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, whatever. But my email's in the back chat. So instead of coming to BMT, it's just like, bro, we'll form it, we'll make it happen, get some traction, and then do a joint venture or make it work. But you said you wanted to do something. So I'm kind of like that, just like, startups. Startups don't sit around and be like, man, let's do a business plan. They're like, hey, give me who, what, when, why, where, and how, and let's start rolling. How are we going to make money? How are we going to start doing it? And then let's, revise and fix this wheel as we go. So if you want to start something like that, I'm always down to talk money. I love talking about it.
For me, it's not even about making money as it is to educating people. I'm not.
No. That's what I'm saying. But what I always just say is we're talking about money at the end of the day. And then people are going to get educated from it. I sat in the halls with people who made money and they talked about money. They didn't sit me down like Barney, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was like, boom, I was exposed to it. So that's what it would be about. But I did want to say this, the chat that said something about the Jews or something like this. Listen, guys, I worked in Israel for a long time, and Israeli people are different across the board. They're not one big happy family that all fall in love. Y'all constantly have these ideas about other groups where they're like, oh man, they came together and they came down from the heavens and they all cooperate. It's not like that. Even if Jews loved each other, if they had no financial literacy, they'll be in a box loving each other. So it's just about having the financial literacy. That's it. It's math. If they didn't know the math, it don't matter how much love they had for each other, how much unity they had, they just don't know math. And so at the end of the day, you gotta just learn the strategies. Stop hating the player and learn the game. That's all I gotta say.
Good point. Let me get super chat real quick, man. We're gonna go ahead and end the show. Mr. Shabosa with 125 Filipino peso once again says Thomas is 100% correct. A lot of the time, you just need the will to want to change your life. Just by being born in the West, you have a lot of advantage.
Right, I'm seeing that to be very true, actually. I have a co-working place that I use over here that I hired the girls to stay in. And there was a British guy that came in to teach sales. And it was driving me nuts because I don't know if you've been to London. They're so polite. That's really not business. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I kind of jumped in and said, hey, I really feel like I need to change some of these narratives. And I said, as America, we believe to go and get it. These Albanians, I felt like a celebrity, man. They were all standing over my phone, trying to take pictures of WhatsApp. They're hungry for this. And I realized that they do not, like when I said this stuff to them, it rang true to them, but they'd never heard it before. Mm-hmm. And I just, like every country I've been to, it's like, we really got it good in America. Really got it good.
But your skin's black. How? My experience is when I've been in Turkey, if you're competent, especially overseas, geez Louise, if you're competent, man, people will show up and honor you. Like, man, it's unlike even in America. Don't get me wrong, I love America. But overseas, if you show, and I think it's because people are like, bro, we're starving over here. Like, we don't have no social programs or nothing. So if you're competent and you show your competence, man, they'll roll out the red carpet. Thai government, citizens, whoever. They're like, I want to learn. I want to know. Right. I got 3 Thai people who bought a home just because I spoke to them about financial literacy. They opened up bank accounts and they only make $300 a month, but they're invested in the S&P 500. They own more assets than majority of Americans, though they make $500 a month. And so it's just like, man, once you give them,
do you see how we talk though? We talk with
follow.
directness and bluntness, and a lot of people think that's refreshing because they don't do it where we're going. And that's the problem with Africans. They don't know how to be blunt and direct and aggressive in nature when it comes to business.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Most countries are okay with the directness.
A couple of little things. One thing, Ronin Travelers gave part of the recipe, although all of you guys really did, but he mentioned life insurance. That's a very simple thing that you can do that can change the direction of your family. All of us are going to die, and you can really make a big difference by giving your family the opportunity to receive some money when you die. You have to be consistent and make the premium payment, right. But that's a very simple changer right there.
It's actually a very simple beginning, but you can actually utilize life insurance to do self-banking. And that's another step forward into that life insurance policy where you net gain, you loan money out of your own life insurance policy to make payments and buy things, and then you pay yourself back in that life insurance policy. Instead of paying a bank 11% on a loan, you pay yourself back out of your life insurance policy. So you can start doing self-banking. It opens up the door to a lot of advantages for you just starting off with a life insurance policy. That's the basics.
Plus that's protected.
I
that's
agree
a
with
class
that.
1 protected cash.
Yes,
too.
it's a class
So
1 protected, right?
That's called an IUL, right?
If you set up a trust and you fund the trust with the life insurance, and then you can borrow
it's a done deal. Yes.
And
well, you can do it against the IUL too without the trust, but the trust is the key for the the generational wealth. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the generational wealth.
He should teach that. He should teach that one for sure. He should teach an IUL. Anybody can do an IUL. Maybe they won't be able to put in millions.
Once I discovered IULs, man, I tell people get out their 401k plans quick as shit. Get out of their 401k, roll it into a Roth IRA. Get out of a 401k plan, roll into a Roth IRA, and then start investing in an IUL.
I don't agree because you
either way,
and you don't get denied.
Put that out. Not investment advice. These are only suggestions and comments made by the panel, not representing advice for investment.
Okay, we have 3 hours mark, guys. Hey, once again, it's been a great show. Peace out, everybody. I appreciate everybody coming on the panel. Thomas, I'm gonna talk to you off the screen, man. We gotta do a show soon, brother.
Okay, and if you want to put something together with all these guys, and we could throw in our parts, put it together, and I'll contribute. I'll contribute what I know. I mean, like, I love the IUL thing. I think that's fantastic. Everybody should know that. You only need like $100 a month on one of those, right?
Yeah. And then, like I said, if you have a lump sum, you can front load it for investment versus death benefit. And that way it grows a lot faster. You get benefits for letting it sit for more than 10 years. You get bonus money after the 11th year. There's so many things in an IUL.
So do you do this policy as
Hey, we gotta go, man.
Okay, let me just get this one thing out there, because
we can sit in the back. We can sit in the green room after he closes.
Let me just ask one thing publicly, because before people run and do IULs, you have to overfund an IUL, and the agent has to set the amount.
He has to load it a certain way. Yes.
Okay.
You can front load it for investment, or you can back load it for death. What you want to use an IUL for is investment, not death.
All right. Did BMT leave us?
BMT's like, I'm done with you fuckers.
Okay, we're done. We're done.
Hey man, turn it off, man. Just turn